What do you expect as a manager? And if you speak to the older generation of managers, they'll say, what? Someone's telling me what players are coming in, and I'm going to get judged.
That is the way of the world now, though.
I know, but then is that fair as a manager? Like we said in previous shows, sporting directors should be coming on and doing press. You're the one bringing in the players. The manager's doing the best they can with these players. They might have wanted 10 other players that you have said no to. Some of the players that they brought in Nottingham Forest, Douglas Luiz on loan didn't work. Zinchenko on loan didn't work. Amari Hutchinson, 37.5 million. Only one Premier League goal in 22 appearances. McAtee, 30 million. Hasn't worked. Ndoye hasn't worked. Bakwa hasn't worked.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan van range. Scoring a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
A very good afternoon with your sports headlines. I'm Will Hobbs. Embarrassing and ugly is the response from former Celtic captain Scott Brown to violent scenes at Ibrox. talkSPORT's Annie McCoist was there with his boys.
There was a young girl there herself, right, and she got hit by a bottle, right? An 18, 19-year-old girl got hit by a bottle. I mean, what chance have we got, mate?
We're unlikely to see a full away allocation at the Old Firm again for a while after police and fans were injured during a pitch invasion. Former Crystal Palace chairman Simon Jordan's asking why Rangers and Celtic tolerate masked ultras, and do we need more police in the stadium?
Why are they nicking them on the pitch? Why aren't the police nicking people? Why are these guys that are running on the pitch with their Spider-Man masks on being nicked?
A number of arrests have been made. Police are asking for help to identify more troublemakers. Elsewhere, Roman Abramovich's lawyers have told the UK government he'll fight any attempts to confiscate funds from his sale of Chelsea. £2.5 billion is still frozen in a bank account. There's dispute over how it'll be used to help victims of the Ukraine war. Erling Haaland's expected to be back from injury for that game live on talkSPORT against Real Madrid on Wednesday night. And ahead of tomorrow's last 16 tie with Atletico, Jed Spence is back in Tottenham training after 4 weeks out. And Ben Earl's long-term club teammate Alex Good has given his thoughts after the England back rower insisted they were unbelievable for 60 minutes against Italy, and there should be pride taken in the performance.
I think he'd probably want to have that interview back. Maybe it was the emotion of the game, big milestone for him, and just got caught a bit off guard. I don't know.
England go to Paris this weekend. A bonus point defeat will, of course, hand France the title. There's more at talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
Keir Starmer admits the longer the conflict in the Middle East goes on, the more likely the UK will face more economic damage. And train chaos continues in Glasgow after a fire in a vape shop yesterday. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Today it's raining tyres in our centres, including top-notch brands like Pirelli. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Mostly cloudy with patchy rain, mainly in western areas. Hopefully sunnier in southeast England and eastern Scotland this afternoon. Feeling mild in the sunshine.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT, where this afternoon we're coming to you live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham to head up a big week of shows from the course at the festival. So, Andy, what's coming up?
Our usual holiday. I'm really looking forward
I know
to
you are, I can tell. Very
Coming
excited.
up over the next 3 hours, our commentary team, Rupert Bell and former jump jockey Lizzie Kelly, will be here to set the scene and mark your card. And Villa supporting former England and Lions hooker Lee Mears joins us to look back on the Six Nations.
Yeah, I bet he can't
disaster,
wait.
Yeah.
Talking of Villa, their former manager Steve Bruce will be with us throughout the afternoon to reflect on the FA Cup, to discuss all the big football talking points of the day, and to bring us his Cheltenham war stories as both manager and player.
Oh yeah, we've heard a few of those already. There's all this, plus Rupert's on the spot with Brucey, and we'll bring you the shock news as to why there's no Escalado or live racing, as is traditional on the preview show.
Well, you were thoughtless in that intro, which doesn't bode well for the rest of the show.
Don't worry, I'll be back to form.
I'm sure you will. 6 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. And how great to be back here at the Lansdowne pub.
That's right.
Even though we don't even know why we're here.
But we love it. It's
do.
always nice that they welcome them back. Welcome us back. We're on course, of course.
Yes,
on
we
course,
are.
of course. Tomorrow and for the rest of the week, we'll have live races throughout the afternoon. And we'll be chatting to Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly a little bit later on about the racing. But there's plenty of football to reflect on, of course, on the weekend.
I'm still getting over the sporniest win in FA Cup history for Chelsea. They were so lucky.
Yeah.
I felt for Wrexham, really.
Did you really?
Well,
why have you written in block capitals during the game?
Because I was so angry with Chelsea.
What have you written down?
I'm not giving Wrexham any credit.
But you now suddenly are. You've softened.
Well, I am, because I realised they actually did really, really well.
Were you impressed? I know Steve was. He was doing the game for us at talkSPORT. I'm going to have a chat with him
But
about
it's
that
that
later.
thing, he got away with it, but don't make 9 changes. It's so poor, that. And as soon as you see the names Badashir and Tosin, you're in trouble. And that's it. It just shows that they bought 14 decent players, and they've got sort of probably 10 or 11 that they bought that have been complete waste of money. But there you go.
I had a kind of football-free weekend, which is a blessed release at the moment. I've been away for the last couple of weeks, and I've not been able to bring basically a combination of a couple of Tottenham podcasts and the WhatsApp group I'm on with all the guys I go to football with. Put me off of watching the highlights
I don't blame you.
of the Arsenal game and the Fulham game. So I did watch Palace in its entirety.
It was a shocker.
But,
it really was.
It was, yeah. I did say to you before I went away about 3 weeks ago, my biggest fear was that we had a lot of P hearts in that team, and so it seems to prove. We got this magic combo of loan players. I think, I'll be out soon. Players that know they're leaving, and I think we all know who they are. This won't be my problem. Young players struggling under the pressure, apart from Archie Gray.
Yeah, he's been doing well.
It's a perfect storm. Put together by... I've got the new names for the hierarchy.
Oh, yeah, what are they?
At the top is Joe Useless. He is, of course, the patriarch. Then we've got Vivian Useless and her brother Charles Useless.
Very good.
Our head of recruitment, Johan Klanger. And then we've got Veen Ivanka Yes Man.
Oh, I wonder what you were going to say.
So that's the lineup. So
it's terrible.
What an absolute shower, as Terry Thomas would have said. There's one for the teenagers. But anyway... That's my problem.
I've brought Sockley Park with me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But I'm a bit worried about him because it takes him ages to decide anything now.
Does it really?
Oh, he's got so slow.
Really? Now, we should point out who Sockley... Have you got Sockley on you?
He's in my suitcase. I think he's well packed away. He might be on top of this. I'll bring him out.
We'll bring him out, yeah. Guys, Andy wanted... I don't know, how did this ever come about?
What it was Jo Kingsbury, our office manager sort of thing, she decided at Christmas to have these Christmas stockings all over the place.
Yeah.
And I thought one of them looked like... I put 2 eyes on him.
Yeah.
And I made him into a sort of sock puppet, and we called him Sockley Park.
Yes.
And then my wife...
As a tribute to the brilliant VAR that we all love.
Oh, yes,
course,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then my wife made him a lovely... because she knew I was bringing him to Cheltenham.
Yeah.
A sort of tweed suit and cap, which he's still got because it's sewn onto it.
So basically, it's a sock that Andy works. Don't touch that dial.
Don't.
But
it's great on radio.
He's won a few quid over the years, though, Sockley, hasn't he? Has some great tips.
He has. Because I was in Ireland last week in Cork.
Nice.
Lovely place. And I've got a taxi driver, and he said, local trainer, this horse, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to save it till, when we're on course.
Yeah. But you've got a top tip.
Top tip, yeah.
That's right. So, in case you're wondering and you don't follow racing, the Cheltenham Festival gets underway tomorrow. It's just the biggest thing, really, in jump racing.
Oh, yeah, it's for the World Cup of jump racing.
I think this is, Lord knows how many of these we've done. Probably, I think 15 plus, I would say, over the years.
Easily.
But it's always a fantastic few days.
It's great.
Today we're going to set the scene. Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly are going to be commentating on all our live racing. They're going to be joining us a little bit later on, and hopefully we'll get a few top tips because Lizzie's well connected. Rupert's the world's worst punter. Don't listen to him. He's an absolute disaster.
Lizzie knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she certainly does. So, yes.
It's a bit deja vu, isn't it? I mean, every year, but apart from the racing, which is what makes it exciting.
It makes it. Our producer, Sean, it's the first one he's ever done with us, and I'm just saying, be prepared for Andy being an absolute creature of habit. You are an absolute, you want to do everything exactly the same as you did it last year, so not that adventurous.
Got to do the Peter O'Sullivan game.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
now, on the Monday, we tend to bring you a game of Escalado, which was the kind of wind-up racing game, and Rupert and Lizzie would commentate for us. But no one told Andy to bring it. And the fact we do it every year and he's a creature of habit, he still managed to forget it.
Well, I thought that was my own copy and that somebody else, the office, had a version. That's why I didn't bring
the office Escalado. Who has that? Does every office have that?
I think they do, actually.
Last year we had this little battery-powered racing
Oh, yeah,
game.
I bought that, yeah. But Rufus, our previous producer.
Our previous producer, we think he's taken it to Austin, Texas, where he now lives.
George is supposed to be texting him. I don't know if she has to see
we'll
if he's got it.
We'll have to find out whether it's... So there is no live racing this afternoon. So normally at this point we ask you to come up with the names of lots of horses that are kind of zeitgeisty stories. Maybe where everything's in the news at the moment, that's just as well. But it won't be happening. So I'm afraid if you've tuned in for the live, why would you do that?
No, you wouldn't.
Do you want a random football story from my trip? I was in one of your favourite places, Buenos Aires.
Yeah, great.
And I was in this market in a place called San Telmo. It's like a mile-long market. And there was a guy there selling these little football plaques, handmade football plaques that were quite sweet. And he was a sort of little fella. Look, it could have been a jockey, I'll be honest. He had the look of a jockey. Right. I'll tell you what, he was a jockey, and anyway, I'll come
John
back.
Joe Fernandez.
Yeah, that's it. But he was selling all these plaques, and he had, River Plate and Boca, and he had the big English, Manchester United, Arsenal, and they're all handmade. But then there was one random one. It said Carlisle United, Jimmy Glass.
Wow, that's amazing.
I said to him, we didn't, we got away with it. He didn't speak much English, my Spanish not stunning. But I worked out that his dad was born in Carlisle.
Good Lord.
Yeah, his dad was born in Carlisle and came over years and years ago. And that's why he did the car. It was the only one. It was sort of completely random. I thought at one point he was saying Jimmy Glass was his dad. But I knew the timeline didn't really work. Well, put a picture up of it. But it just was absolutely so random. So, yeah. So there we are.
You had a lovely tour of River Plate, didn't you?
I did. I went and, Ignacio, who's the vice president at River, who came on our show a little while ago, he gave me a little tour of the stadium. They're going up to 101,000. They got 85,000 at the moment. And they sell it out every week.
And that's no away fans.
Yeah, they're not allowed to have
fans.
away fans. That's right.
Mad,
more on that later as we reflect
with
Steve on the old firm game yesterday. But yeah, amazing. Anyway, lots more to come. Steve Bruce is going to be joining us throughout the afternoon. Lee Mears, former England Lions hooker, is going to join us. Bad weekend for England. But we'll be...
It's been a bad 3 games, really.
Yeah, it certainly has been. We'll be chatting to him. Lots of ground to cover in the FA Cup. Say Steve was on duty for talkSPORT at Wrexham Chelsea. So stick with us throughout the afternoon. It's bound to be a very, very busy show as always. And as we said, if you're looking for a bit of guidance from the racing, Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly will be joining us a little bit later on to mark your card. We are live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham with Paddy Power ahead of the start of the Cheltenham Festival tomorrow.
So it makes it more interesting, I think, Simon, for fans of other clubs. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If it was all to finish today and this was in operation now,
you'd go way down to 17th of Norwich in the league, having a chance to get into the 8th spot. That's what you do.
Right.
You take 60. You take
it opens up. Yeah.
You take 66% of the league as it sits now. 18 clubs in this league could have a reasonable shout to make a claim for getting 8th spot, because there's 11 games to go in the conventional season. There's 6 points between Derby in 8th and Norwich in 17th.
Right.
And those games, and when you get running at the business end of a season, it really does change the dynamics of how people play. All of a sudden, you've got 66% of the league having something involved. Then you've got the other 25%, or 35%, sorry, sort of going to the Gabby Bongle arithmetic school, the other 34%, which would be fighting for not staying in the division. So you've got constant jeopardy in a league, which actually reminded me when I was over in America looking at the MLS and how they construct their leagues and how many teams get an opportunity to play in their playoffs and participate in outcomes for themselves. They have something like 60 or 70% of the teams in a league any given season that could feature in a playoff scenario.
Right.
So it's all
Does
about...
it affect the quality? There's a message coming through there. You're telling me that 8th could end up going to the Premier League. Surely, that ain't good in terms of the quality of the club that's going to go up.
There's nip and tuck. More often than not,
Port Vale, bottom of League One, have beaten Premier League Sunderland by a goal to nil.
The goalkeeper goes the right way, but he can't keep it out. And Southampton are heading to the FA Cup quarter-final.
Evans, 1-1. Mansfield Town back on level terms. Now Eza, right-footed, blasted into the top right-hand corner. And Arsenal are back ahead. In towards Moore, and headed in! At the back post! It's 3-3! Oh, VAR's checking it for a potential offside. And the referee signals here that the goal is indeed ruled out. João Pedro rolls it home. Chelsea have the final word, and they are into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup by the skin of their teeth.
Here's Mamouche, first time shot! Brilliant goal! Omar Mamouche has probably won this cup tie for Manchester City.
Never, ever write off the FA Cup.
No, fantastic weekend of FA Cup football. And here to reflect on that and other matters besides is the former Manchester United defender, Villa, Newcastle manager Steve Bruce. Hello, Steve.
And other places.
Good afternoon.
Another pub. We can't run through them all.
But I know there's that many will be here. More.
Just about Cheltenham, and you've seen quite a lot of players and teams that have come to Cheltenham over the years, and managers here as well. As a player, here,
Sir Alex wouldn't let us come.
Right.
And the few used to sneak down. I've always enjoyed the racing, and Cheltenham is fantastic. But I've never really been a racing fan, whereas people like Brazil and Robson and all these type of people really studied the form. But it was a Fergie. We had to get past Fergie, and he
loves it now, though.
He absolutely loves it now, absolutely. But back in the day, we all understand where a group of footballers get together and it goes hand in hand in the Guinness tent, and you know what's happening next.
And as a manager then, Steve, what was your attitude to letting your boys come down?
Well, it all depends on what day it is, or what day have the fall. Have you got a midweek game, for example? Are you playing on a Saturday or a Sunday? Look, you have to be a little bit sensible, but in my last club, I think I stopped them because we had a big game on the Saturday and they wanted to come on the Thursday and they had a boot.
On the Thursday?
On the Thursday.
Oh, that's pushing it a bit.
Or it could have even been on the Wednesday, but you know if they come on a Wednesday, Thursday's a write-off anyway, so you've just got to be a little bit careful with it. And
you're fairly certain, though. I've said before that we saw a team here once and I knew one of the players and I said, can you want to come on for a chat? And he said, we're not here. So you would have had a bit of that?
Oh, we've had it all that.
But we've seen a few hammered over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, that's the problem, you know. The lads get together and we know one drink leads into two, and all of a sudden there's always somebody who's going to let the side down. So
that's why I brought these.
You've got to just try and ignore it.
Hangover drops.
Hangover drops.
They could be quite useful, couldn't they?
Wow, they must be just full of sugar, are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Doesn't take the smell away though, does it? The smell of the hangover is always the one.
Yeah,
that might be true.
Yeah.
So let's turn to the football. And you were here with us at talkSPORT for Wrexham, Chelsea the other day. Look, Andy was getting a bit nervous. What was was that your first experience of going down to Wrexham and watching play under this new regime?
When I was at Blackpool last year,
we
played them a couple of times.
Of course,
They came to us at Blackpool at a really, really critical part of the year of when they were trying to cement getting promotion. And I have to say that they were a group of men really well put together by the manager, who you can't give enough credit to because of what I've noticed in the lower divisions, and I was only there for a 12-month, it's constant change and turnaround. You have a good player, then you don't have them very long. And at Blackpool we lost 3 or 4 to the Championship and it didn't happen, it didn't happen with who we brought in, unfortunately for myself. But Parky's done it, and Steve Parkin underneath him, and he's done such a remarkable job. And even now they've put a team together, and I'm looking at the squad of players and the subs that they brought on, you know, Kiefer Moore and
Broadhead
and then the other guys, the other guy who used to play, his dad was a player,
Dean Windass.
That
was his son, Josh
Windass. He comes on and you think, wow, they've got a really, really decent squad of players. They're well drilled, well organised. And when I looked at Chelsea, I did say at the time they've made 9 changes. I hope he doesn't regret that because they're in a good place. You could see Wrexham, and the one thing I really admired about them, they were really brave. They went after them. They didn't drop off at all until they were down to 10 men. They went after them, pressed them high up the pitch, left themselves 1v1 defensively, but they were really, really good at it, and it was an unbelievable cup tie.
I was angry with Chelsea. I was angry with Rossini. It's disrespectful to treat Wrexham. They're in the playoffs. They're a really good side. You can go there with 5. Palmer, Esteval, Caicedo, Fernandes and James. All not there. Well, James was there, but he didn't come on.
Maybe he's new to it, and we all get it. They're playing Paris Saint-Germain on, and he's thinking, I need all them big hitters to play again. And we all get it. But I think there comes a time when you learn from your experiences. Even I learned from it at Hull and thought, if I'm a Premier League team, I ain't going to change around my team, even if we're in the bottom 3 or 4 and we're fighting a relegation battle. Because, and if I ask Hull supporters now, what is the greatest days of your time? They'll say the FA Cup final rather than getting promoted to the Premier League. I mean, the Premier League is where everybody wants to get, but you can win 4 or 5 games. A bit like Fulham yesterday.
We didn't
Fulham,
understand
they're sitting great, and I think what a lot of managers, head coaches do is to keep the squad happy.
Yeah, there's elements.
You feel as if you have to play them because they're never going to get a game otherwise.
Well,
it's a big part of management.
I'm not sure it even works, because what you find is those bit part players are suddenly thrust into a team that they've not played in before. It's often a bit of a rag bag of players. So suddenly they don't show the best of themselves. If you slot 1 or 2 of them in a established...
There's a difference between making 1, 2, 3 to making 9 or 10.
Exactly.
It's a different team.
So to change 4 or 5 is fine.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe you should have a little go at the management.
No, I could never do that, never in a million years. And I really like what Liam Rossini has done with the team.
He's done great, hasn't he?
And I like the fact that he treats the players in a different way to Maresca. Maresca's obviously a very good coach, but you did feel the players like Palmer, you feel they were restricted and not happy, and you feel they're freer, and they've been playing some really lovely football.
Yeah, they have. I mean, look, I've had the pleasure to work with Liam. He played with me at Hull as a player. He then, anytime there was a little bit in the academy, he did a bit of coaching. And then he obviously gets a little bit of a head start when Wayne Rooney makes him his assistant. And everybody's telling me that he's very, very talented on the pitch. He was unfortunate at Derby and the situation they were in. Then gets a real good opportunity at Hull where he did well. Let's be brutally honest. I mean, the change when Hull made it at the time, everybody looked and went, wow, what's all that about? He was really unfortunate there. And the one thing that he did was he tried to play expansive, and he had a certain way of playing which you have to take your hat off to him. And then he gets the job in France and Strasbourg and he's done very, very well there, working with the young players. And it's great that he's been given an opportunity. We see foreign coaches get an opportunity very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Why not a young English lad who's he's on the up, and of course he's going to have difficult. That'll teach him a little bit at the weekend. He's going to make mistakes, of course he is. But on the whole, and it's only Arsenal beat him, haven't they?
Yeah.
So fair play to him. Well done.
And even in that last game, I thought Chelsea were the better team, really. But we can talk about Arsenal later.
It sounds like you always thought working with Liam.
I always thought he was going to maybe go into the coaching side. And do that, which he did do to start with. And then he's obviously been given the opportunity at Hull, which he thought, well, I'm not going to turn down. And nowadays, the head coach becomes... There's a difference between managing and head coach now, which is always this grey area. Who's responsible for recruitment, for example, or the medical department, and there, where it used to be the manager, if anybody ever questioned Sir Alex back in the day, he would be responsible for medical, recruitment, everything involved around the club. Now more and more clubs, especially from a foreign owner, are having that you're the head coach and your job is to just get the best out of this group of 20 players that we have put together, that the club have put together. And now is man management, and it comes into it, and a lot of younger ones now are relish. I remember having a conversation with the great Bobby Robson about when he was head coach of Barcelona. He said, Steve, it was fabulous. I got in at 9:30. I took training at 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm having lunch with my wife at 1 o'clock. He says, I've never done that before in my life. This head coach is the way forward. And then when you think back and look and say, wow, because the manager's job, Sir Alex used to be in at 6 and go home at
he'd be the one
midnight.
answering the phone, wouldn't he? When people
absolutely.
The train.
I remember it was a long time ago. I was in TV very early, and we went to Carrington to film something. And the way he was, and he was so intimidating, and you could just feel he was in control of everything. You know,
absolutely.
It was amazing.
I don't think he would have liked head coach, would he?
No,
I don't think so. But I think when you really sit back and analyse it now, football clubs are that big, like Manchester United now. I think Sir Alex, in the end, what he did was he managed people to get the best out of them too. You know, he relied so much and changed out round his number twos. Often and lots, to bring a little bit of
fresh idea, new voices,
new voice, all the rest of it. So he was very, very clever in that respect. It's when the head coach is not aligned to the football club. Different styles. Some people think he's a really good player. Some people don't. And that's the opinions, and that's where it gets a little bit muddled. But fair play to Liam. But I'm sure he learned on Saturday. But I'm delighted for him. He's had the opportunity. He's doing great. He's making a fist of it. Let's get behind him.
Steve Bruce is with us. We're going to keep chatting in a moment, looking back on some of the FA Cup games over the weekend. We're live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham with Paddy Power ahead of the start of the Cheltenham Festival tomorrow.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The football club. It's unbelievable. The people in charge of this football club. One of the biggest clubs in the world. And an absolute mockery. We're a mockery of a football club that we've allowed this to happen.
Are you going down?
And the fans have had to accept
You're going down.
Jace, shut up. Don't ask me again. Seriously. Like, I'm trying to do a show here. I'm trying to have a say. And you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
That's a question. No problem with me. It's not my fault you got beat tonight, is it? I wasn't playing centre-half.
It's so bad.
There's no point up, Jake. Don't have a pop at me, mate, right?
I'll have a pop at you if you're trying to mug me off.
No, I'm not mugging you off. I'm asking you. It's a simple question. Are you going down? Are you?
I can't do 2 hours with you, Jace, if you're just going to be an idiot. I mean, how can I take you seriously? You've got an Ange mask on and a clown mask.
What about 3 hours?
I can't do 2 hours of calls with you. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just please.
It's not my fault. You're rubbish.
Please, like,
What?
for me,
Okay.
like, don't ask me that question again. All right? Just because.
What question?
All right, look. I want to hear from Spurs fans. It's obviously a shocking. I'm genuinely crestfallen. Genuinely crestfallen. It's the worst I've ever felt.
Do you think you're going down? No, it's a different question this time.
Well, how's it a different question?
I said, are you going down? Or do you think you're going down? Do you think you're going down?
Former Celtic captain Scott Brown's told us only a small part of the Old Firm crowd always wants to spoil it for everybody else. Missiles and punches were thrown during a violent pitch invasion at Ibrox. Bill Leckie from the Scottish Sun has told Wyatt and Jordan the only solution is going back to no away fans.
Whether that upsets the ones who are good fans, I don't think should come into it. The fact is that they cannot be trusted to be in each other's company at the moment until they sort out and find a long-term solution.
Police in Scotland have made a number of arrests and are asking for the public's help to identify more troublemakers. David Graham from the Rangers podcast was at the game.
That to me was the worst, the most shambolic and the most inadequate policing operation I've ever witnessed at any football game.
Meanwhile, as the US-Israeli war with Iran continues, the Global Players Union is asking FIFA to protect the Iranian women's football team as they return home from Australia.
There may be players that want to return. There may be some players within the group that would like to seek asylum, would like to stay in Australia for longer. There may be some that are incredibly concerned about the potential journey home. It's an incredibly difficult situation.
That's FIFPro's President of Asia and Oceania, Bo Bush. Iran's women's team have been called wartime traitors back home for not singing the national anthem. And the fit again Erling Haaland's working on his speed ahead of Man City's Champions League game at Real Madrid live on talkSPORT on Wednesday, while Liverpool's Alexis McAllister has trained after a knee problem. Galatasaray versus Liverpool is our early kickoff on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow afternoon. You can get all the latest on the website at talksport.com.
Yes, welcome back to the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. We'll be on course tomorrow to bring you lots of live racing and all the colour from the festival when it kicks off. Steve Bruce is with us this afternoon here in the Lansdowne. We're reflecting on all the FA Cup games. We're going to turn to your great love, Newcastle United. You're a fan, you manage the club. Bit of a tough weekend for them, getting beaten in the Cup by City.
Yeah, it's a tough week for them. They've had a lot of big games, it seems, over a period of time, and maybe it's just caught up with them a little bit.
Is that the fifth or time they played City this season?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard playing them once, never mind 3 or 4 times. You know, especially when they turn up and they make, what did he make, 9-10 changes, and it seemed seamless for them, didn't it? Because they were very, very comfortable, especially second half. I only seen it from afar and I've seen the highlights of it, but certainly second half they were very, very worthy of the win and very, very comfortable. And now all of Newcastle now will turn to one of the big games that you'd look forward to is Barcelona, of course, on Tuesday. So let's hope Eddie's got a few back fit. They've seemed to have been over the last few weeks in particular, you know, a lot of problems, obviously injury-wise, and that can affect you. Especially
a good win against United, though. That was
it was a good win.
That was really
a
gutsy
great win good win for what probably they all needed. They won very, very well, playing with an hour for 10 men, especially when United have had this upturn under Michael. So it's a big time for Newcastle at the minute because they're in a real big run of games where, you know, here's Barcelona and they've had Man City.
They've got Chelsea,
and then Chelsea coming up.
But it's really interesting because they've got Barcelona, Chelsea have got PSG. On the weekend, PSG are having a nice rest. Whereas Chelsea have to play Newcastle, who then have to go and play Barcelona next week, and Chelsea have to play PSG next week. It's a big advantage when you get a weekend off.
Oh, it's absolutely, it's really is huge, and especially when you get to the big level of games that they're talking about now. And that is why the Premier League is so difficult, because you can take on one of the bottom teams there. We've seen Wolves, who were probably relegated a month ago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're making a fist of it. They've held Arsenal. They've beat Liverpool. And it shows you how difficult it is, from, no disrespect, playing in France or Germany or Holland or whatever. It's not the intensity, and that's why it's the biggest and best league. And, of course, you're always thinking, can you get 2, 4, 5 days preparation to play one of these big games? Unfortunately, we don't get it.
Yeah.
No. But it'll be interesting to see how the English teams do in the end in the Champ, because they dominated the.
Whether they run out of steam because of that reason, because they've just played such a lot of high-intensity games.
Yeah, there's been a lot of games, and that is it. And Newcastle now, I feel as if, look, they've done so well under Eddie over the last few years. They're now in the big elite, and they've got to get used to playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and it takes some doing. It takes the squad and getting used to it, and it really is a real difficult juggling act. Do you play your team on the Saturday when you're playing Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday night, Tuesday night, like Newcastle? Do they play the team, or do they keep a few back because they've got Barcelona on Tuesday?
It's difficult. It is difficult, but you've got to keep a few back.
And then Pep, of course, has gone with it, where you could arguably say, well, Man City's team, they can make 9-10 changes because they're that strong. It's only a few months ago that we're starting to question Man City, really. Have they really got it? And all of a sudden they're fighting on 4 fronts. And you wouldn't write them off either, would you?
I'd be very interested to see how they go again. I think they're going to beat Real Madrid this week. I do, but we'll see.
Yeah. How many times have they played Real Madrid over the last couple of years? It's scary, isn't it?
We touched on Fulham just now. I think it's worth a mention as well, because, as we were saying, they're 10th. They're probably not going to get Europe. They might do, but they're not going to go down. They're pretty safe. I'm sure the Fulham fans would have liked a cup run, and yet there they are.
I am a big admirer of Marco. I think he's done a remarkable job there at Fulham. I think him this morning probably wake up and thought, did I get that right?
Yeah.
And especially when you get beat 1-0 at home. I know they were arguably the better team. I believe they had 70% possession and 30%, 70-30, something like that. They had 18 shots to Southampton's 4 or 5, so they were certainly in the ascendancy. But obviously they haven't got through. So I'm sure he'll be asking himself the question. And you know what it is? If you got through and then you see the draw and think,
they might have got Port Vale or something.
Port Vale.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the look of the draw when I was at Hull. We
I think you'll
a little
find
look of the draw now
Arsenal
and again.
get Port Vale.
Yeah, Arsenal versus Port Vale.
Do you know when I
house on it.
Do you know when I learnt my lesson a little bit in management? Yeah, Arsenal will get it. Yeah,
of course.
I learnt my lesson in management when I remember back in Hull when we had a little run and we get to the quarter-final. We've got Sunderland at home, and Sunderland made 10 changes.
Yeah,
and we thought, hang on a minute here, what a really outstanding chance we've got here in a quarter-final. Sunderland have made huge changes.
So that's part of your team talk. When you say, look,
hey, what a chance we've got. And no disrespect, we beat Sunderland, I think, 3-0 on the day, get to the semi-final. All of a sudden, we drew Sheffield United, who were a Division 1 team back in the day. When I first come across Harry Maguire, that's another story. And we had them at Wembley, which made our way through to the final, and they are for the supporters of Hull probably their greatest days.
Yeah, we should have a word for Tonda Eckert and the job he's done at Southampton. That was that's a brilliant win for them. But yeah, what a turnaround they've had since he's come.
What an incredible turnaround, and what a hard job he seemed from afar. Everybody thought, wow, how are they going to turn that round? But he's done well, absolutely well. So you have to say hats off to him and congratulations so far.
Yeah,
great result for him as well.
I don't know if you saw yesterday, and I don't know how much time we've got to talk about this, but Harry Redknapp was talking about when he left Spurs, and something you don't think of as an ordinary punter, the interference to a manager from above. And he was saying what it was he got a phone call from Daniel Levy saying, you don't play Robbie Keane tomorrow, you've got to play Pavlyuchenko because Rafa van der Vaart thinks that's the right thing to do. This is I know.
Ouch.
And then
Ouch.
he says,
I would
well,
love to hear his response.
Yeah, he said, I don't care what he thinks. Then he got a phone call from Joe Lewis, who you think doesn't even get
Joe
involved.
Useless.
Yes. And start saying to him, well, I think you should listen to Rafa van der Vaart because he says that Robbie Keane shouldn't play tomorrow. You think, blimey.
Did you ever get that, Steve, from
interference
upstairs? From anybody?
I didn't get it as brutal as that would leave somebody out, and but I've had it where you get it where why did you play that team, or you have that. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I went back in, my first bit of management was Dean Saunders. Where we were playing Bristol City, and I'll have to say this about Dean. He was he's good value on the radio, and I enjoyed managing him for a short period. But we're playing Bristol City away, and he's due to play. He's playing. I'm the manager, and I haven't played for a few months, and I'm player manager. Anyway, I could hear him walking down the tunnel, walking down the hotel, and this was about an hour, and he was whistling away and singing away, and I said, Dino, we're not leaving for another hour. Why you got your bags? He said, nobody told you. I says, told me what? He says, I've just signed for Benfica. I says, what? You signed for Benfica? He says, yeah, I'm on the Happers 3 from Heathrow.
Thanks.
He says, thanks ever so much, Steve. Pleasure meeting you. And walks out through the door, and I thought,
brilliant.
And by the way, I didn't know at the time at Sheffield United, well, who am I going to call? Which party is partly to it?
Wow.
And that was my first job in management, and I thought, wow, what do I do about this? And found it very, very difficult, I have to tell you.
Because no one told you. That's sensational, isn't it?
Nobody told you. Nobody told you, Steve, especially from Dean. I've just signed with Benfica. And they owed Sheffield United a fortune because they'd signed Brian Dean in the summer of that year and hadn't been paid. So that's another story.
We had a nice text from Dance. He says, did you bring, this you, Steve, did you bring Striker for Steve to read? Oh, and you're asking us if we brought Striker for you to read.
No, we're going to talk about Steve's fine, but I've got a copy of Striker.
I know, used to were the ones who, in lockdown, I believe it must have found it. And I always thought it was going to be a bit of a Mickey taken, which it was.
It was a celebration.
A celebration.
Celebration.
Then all of a sudden it comes back to life, and I'm thinking, God, it's 20-odd year ago. Where are all these copies, by the way?
I've got a copy.
Which was your favourite?
It's Striker. I've got a copy of Striker. They're very hard to get hold of.
By the way, you made them worth a fortune.
They are. Basically, it's my pension. I got my copy of Striker. Okay. Steve wrote, if you don't know this, Steve wrote 3 murder mystery stories featuring Steve Barnes. Semi-autobiographical, I'd say.
It was good.
Around was it Leddersford Town Football Club?
Yeah.
And Steve wrote these books, and Ian Danter, who does a pretty good impersonation of you, Steve, we've got to say, our old mate.
He read it in good faith.
He's a Birmingham fan, isn't he?
He is, that's right. Yeah,
I dance, know him well. Yeah.
He didn't really send it. He just read it straight.
It was a celebration. It was a homage. It was not a Mickey take, Steve. Don't ever think that.
It was a Mickey take. I could say something else, but I'm live on the radio and something else. But all of a sudden, it's
great.
Wow, where are you getting this from?
We put that
I've
on eBay.
I've had a couple of offers to do it a bit more, and I said I'm bitter and twisted now, and all the rest of it. But now
you could be football's Richard Osman.
If I do I'm saying Fergie's got a new book out today, hasn't he? Something.
Has he? Not a murder mystery.
No, definitely not. But I think the next one might be a bit serious, and maybe an autobiography of management, maybe. But
good stuff.
See. We'll see.
Steve, we're going to have a chat later. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly joining us to keep up with all the football chat. The latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is out now with Majestic and the former Premier League manager Alan Pardew reviewing all the weekend's action. You want to hear more? Then the talkSPORT Daily available on all podcast platforms and the talkSPORT app. We're going to turn to racing as Cheltenham gets underway tomorrow. Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly joining us in a few moments.
I've got lots of Tottenham mates, and man, they're devastated. They can't watch. They said I couldn't watch it last night. I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch it.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're getting to a stage where they're so nervous about going down, which I thought about 3 weeks ago. Oh, they'd be fine.
So did I, mate.
Now, with what I've seen from Forest, what I've seen from West Ham, they're banging it.
Right, I'm the same as you, mate, and I bet you're
Leeds will be looking. Leeds have got to be
looking over their shoulder as well.
Leeds have got. We said, they got Wolves on there, but Wolves,
they've picked up.
They're flying.
They played well against Liverpool.
Unbelievable. And they could play them tonight. You're doing the game tonight.
FA Cup, I'm over FA Cup, mate. Well, if like fans of most other clubs, you enjoy what's happening at Spurs right now, and you tune into the sports bar, then last night, by all accounts, was unmissable. I did hear a little bit of it, by the way. Jason was officially playing Keep Me Up with Jamie.
It's a simple question. Are you going down?
Yes.
We are the only team in the Premier League ever to bring in a new manager, to get a new manager bounce, and we get a worse bounce.
Okay, you get a new manager trounce, not bounce.
Like, I'm trying to do a show here, I'm trying to have a say, and you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
To dare is to poo.
I'd actually take Big Ange. It's got to that point. I would actually take Big Ange. I could do a better job. It is embarrassment. An embarrassment.
You're going down. No, seriously, last time. You're going down.
Shut up! Don't ask me again.
Realistically, Ali, it could be Tottenham Lincoln next year.
I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. The festival gets underway tomorrow. This time tomorrow we would have our first race. We've already had the Cheltenham Roar.
We love the Cheltenham Roar.
And our commentary team would have already been in action. That is Rupert Bell and the former jump jockey and a winner at Cheltenham, Lizzie Kelly. Lovely to see you both.
Yeah. Lovely to be back.
Here we are again.
In this fine establishment.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
It's always a joy. No live racing this afternoon, no Escalado.
What's happened?
Andy forgot it.
Error.
Yeah, that's admin error.
Sorry, dear listeners, but I haven't done a commentary since York, and it's the way I can get into the thing.
Right.
Well,
maybe you should have done one last week or something. Done a bit of practicing.
Well, I'll get
We're
the
off,
staff to run
and they're
up
off.
and down the car park and do that.
Thank you, Lizzie.
So you're all excited for Cheltenham, Lizzie?
Yeah, I am. I think it's going to be a really good week. We've got some really competitive racing. I think we've got less sort of odds-on favourites throughout the week, and the races seem a bit deeper at the championship level. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great one.
I heard you on breakfast this morning. It was very funny. You were speaking about a horse, and you said the horse has got it'll do well as long as it keeps out of the riff-raff. I thought, well, like Rupert, really.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Lovely to have you back here.
I heard someone suggesting, Rupert, that maybe the Mullins horse is not as strong this year as they've been in previous years, or is that unfair?
They've not had the season that they have had before. They're not dominating in Ireland. Gordon Elliott looks like he'll be the Irish champion trainer, barring Willie Mullins having an extraordinary resurgence. Not the same, and obviously the sad news last week, and Galopin Deschamps, who is Lizzie's favourite horse, was not going to be here, and I think maybe even being retired. But the two-time Gold Cup winner, and obviously State Man's not here, so maybe not going to have it all his own way, but he's still got a stack full of favourites. So will he have 8 or 9 winners? Maybe not. 6, 7, possibly.
I'm going to impress you now. Do you want to know Gordon Elliott's best chance of the week, according to Gordon Elliott?
Okay.
Tia Hooper.
Do you agree with that? Do you know Gordon, or how'd you get this?
No, I read it in the Racing Post.
Okay,
it was a big piece with him. I thought I'll study this.
The inside news, isn't it? Really?
It's called research, Paul. What is that thing?
Yeah, not that you'd know about that.
Yeah, you'll have to give it a go, Rupert.
I'm going to try. But the other one he's got is Woodhoo, who is another banker. He only had one winner last year, and it was in the last race with Woodhoo. I think this year his horses are in great form. I think he might be the trainer to follow, along with jockey Jack Kennedy.
The Champions Hurdle tomorrow, big race, and according to my extensive research, Tutti Quanti, the owner, paid an 18 grand supplement to enter the race. That's always a sign that they think it's got a chance, don't they?
Yeah, I mean it's quite a weak winnable race. It's a race that Lossie Mouth has also been put in now as well. She could have gone for the mares. So the New Lion looked like he was just going to win.
Skelton,
like just simply out of a lack of anything else. Golden Ace, who won it last year in those
25 to 1, wasn't it?
Incredible circumstances, obviously goes again, and I know Rupert, you really fancy her, but yeah, Champion Hurdle tomorrow. It's great, and it's a really exciting start to the week.
You rode here, and if people haven't heard this before,
I thought you were going to say to me.
No. I don't think you could ride here. The amount of red wine you've got. But yeah, what sets it apart? Or you rode in this festival?
It is because it is so competitive and it is so difficult, and to have a winner here is like top of every jockey's wish list. Really, is to ride a winner at the Cheltenham Festival because it's so hard.
There's only 28 chances. When you think about it, only 28 races. So and there's so much competition.
And a lot of those top races will have the same 7 to 10 jockeys in.
Yeah.
If you're not one of those people, that's quite a lot of the races you're not ever going to win because you'll never even get a ride in one. So yeah, I mean it's very, very special, but of course also the other side of it is the atmosphere and how amazing it is. I was very lucky that the 2 winners I had at the festival were both favourites.
Right.
And so it genuinely
that puts its own pressure on you as a jockey, though.
Still
yeah,
exciting.
definitely. But then when you win and everybody's backed it, it felt like, there were thousands of us all celebrating, and it was brilliant.
I've just realised, actually, Rupert's been very sensible. He's wearing a burgundy sweater, so when he throws all that Malbec over himself, you won't even see it.
He's wearing a lot of
tremendous.
He's wearing a lot of red wine-coloured clothing this year, isn't he?
The rumours of my slopping wine all over the place.
That's not true.
But can I also say this place is a christening place for Lizzie's children, because Hugo had his first chips here.
He did. That's right.
And
in this very pub.
And young Safi's made it into the pub as well.
Yeah.
So this place is part of the Kelly childhood now, isn't it?
Like a rite of passage.
Yeah, rite of
Come to the Lansdowne on the Monday.
All subsequent children have got. Every year you have to bring them here for chips.
Yeah, their birthday party.
If they'll sponsor it, then I'm up for it.
It's all good. What have I got for tomorrow? Hold on, I've got another one I want to run by.
Andy has a bet based on it. It's a bet. You have a bet on every. About at least 5 horses on every race.
No, I've only got 2 for the.
Please gamble responsibly.
The Ultima Handicap Chase, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
Jaguar. And Iroko, which is apparently a pointer to the National.
Oh, you're getting all this research.
You've backed both of them.
I haven't backed anything yet.
Oh,
I'm going to wait and hear what you think first.
Well, they're first and second favourite, those two.
Oh, okay.
You
could do a forecast, I suppose.
So, you could. In that race, I actually like the same owner has a horse called Johnny Who is admittedly shortening quite a lot now. But
write that one down.
That's John Joe O'Neill's horse, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, he was 5th in an Irish Grand National. He's got bits and pieces of nice form. He's sort of snuck in and sort of been a bit forgotten about, and he kind of looks like he's a bit of a plot horse.
Of each way, would you say?
Yeah, like I just think he's sort of, I don't know, maybe it's a bit cynical of me, but you've got 2 JP McManus horses at the top of the betting, and actually there's one sort of midway down that could potentially be the one.
There we are. Consider your card marked, folks. Johnny Who tomorrow, and that's in the Ultima, is that right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have live racing from the 2 of you throughout the week. 1:20 we get underway. We have the big feature race the afternoon at 4. So
I'm primed. I'm ready.
We're very much
and
looking forward
hopefully
to it.
I will be lubricated.
What a terrible image to take into the news and sport.
Your mate, the wine tips, will be around. Really.
Yes,
he will be around, and he's going to make sure you're all right. There's some good product coming your way.
And I remember his 25-year-old whiskey. That was tremendous.
Yes, good old Neil, our favourite man at the festival.
Very much so.
Thank you, Rupert. Thank you, Lizzie. We'll catch up with you. I think you're going to come back and have a chat with Steve Bruce. Have a bit of a Villa chat. He's got a bone to pick with you.
I know.
He's probably still a big man.
He kept the cabbage, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's going to throw it back. I think that should be in the National Football Museum. Let's see if he has it. So there are Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly, your commentary team tomorrow, live from the Cheltenham Festival throughout the 4 days, starting at 1:20. You can enjoy complete coverage of the Cheltenham Festival on Racing TV, the only channel showing every race live. Racing TV are live on air from 9:45 a.m. every day of the festival with over 32 hours of unmissable coverage. Join Racing TV for half price for an entire year. Head to racingtv.com/half price now. To celebrate, Racing TV is giving away a pair of tickets to Grand National Day at Aintree. So go to talksport.com/win to enter. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
David, good morning, mate. First
Good
of all,
morning, David.
Morning, all. David, here's a quick one for you, mate. I know we'll not be talking European football. We'll calm everything down. I want to start with this statistic, right, which I would imagine would please you as much as anything. Everton, after reaching the 40-point mark in 28 games, that's only the second time they've done that in 9 seasons. Now, I reckon that in itself is an achievement. But, and I know you'll play it down, you must have a wee thought about European football.
Well, I said right at the start, Coisty, that I said to the players that, we need to try and aim for it and hope that it was possible. In truth, it looked a million miles away, to be honest, at the start. But I have to say, we got off to a pretty good start in the league, and it's given us something to hold on to. We've been up and down, and we're probably just on the outside of European football, if we're honest. But we're not that far away that we couldn't try and make a go of it.
David, obviously the Grealish injury was disappointing, but how happy are you now with the competition for places? Beto and Barry are in great form. You've got McNeil and Dibbling fighting for a spot. NDI and Tyreek George. You've got Branthwaite back as well. The squad's looking more healthy now, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, I have to say, Jack was brilliant for us in the early part of the season. He gave us lots of things which we haven't had, and he helped the team greatly. So we've missed him, and we missed him over the middle of the season, middle of December and January, really, when we had also a few injuries as well. But probably no different to other clubs. But we're just beginning to find our feet a little bit again, and the players you mentioned, they're all beginning to step up.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon with your sports headlines. I'm Will Hobbs, and it's understood 5 players from Iran women's football team have sought refuge in Australia after being knocked out of the Asian Cup there. The Australian government has come under pressure to protect the side after they refused to sing the Islamic Republic anthem before their game against South Korea. The players were called wartime traitors on Iranian state TV. Meanwhile, is this the end of away fans at the Old Firm derby for the near future at least? Bill Leckie from the Scottish Sun has told White and Jordan it's the only solution.
Whether that upsets the ones who are good fans, I don't think should come into it. The fact is that they cannot be trusted to be in each other's company at the moment until they sort out and find a long-term solution.
Police Scotland have made a number of arrests and are asking for the public's help to identify troublemakers. David Graham from the Rangers podcast was at the game.
That to me was the worst, the most shambolic and the most inadequate policing operation I've ever witnessed at any football game.
Jed Spence is back in training ahead of Spurs' tie with Atletico Madrid tomorrow, but Alisson hasn't travelled with Liverpool when they face Galatasaray. Jack Colback, meanwhile, has announced his retirement, and after unleashing his fury on Andy Goldstein days ago, Martin Keown is now breathing down the neck of Alan Pardew.
To be honest, Alan Pardew is brand new to this. He's acting like a schoolboy, isn't he? Saying there should be an asterisk next to.
Yes, it's silly, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Let's hope he gets better at this, by the way.
Let's hope what? He gets better at it.
We eagerly await Mr. Pardew's response.
talkSPORT News.
How will the government respond to the jump in oil prices, and find out why PlayStation users could get £162 in compensation? Find out with Amelia at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Mostly cloudy, patchy rain mainly in western areas. Cloudy but sunnier in southeast England and eastern Scotland this afternoon, and feeling mild in the sunshine.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be careful aware, don't talk.
Mustang Sally. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Lansdowne Pub in Cheltenham. We will be live on course tomorrow for the Cheltenham Festival, the full 4 days of racing, live racing throughout the afternoon. Lots of top guests have been lined up to join us from the course here in the Lansdowne. We'll be chatting
to Steve Bruce a little bit later on. The former England Lions hooker Lee Mears is with us to reflect on the Six Nations. He hasn't cancelled. I wouldn't have blamed him if he had. But he'll be joining us later. But to kick off, we're going to bring you Paddy's Pick in association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power. And Paddy himself will join us on the show later in the week. In Paddy's Pick, I'm asking Andy to identify a mystery Cheltenham personality. Who's Paddy's Pick of the week?
Okay.
And you're going to get 5 clues to work out who it is. As always, we'll start with £50 in the pot. For every clue you use without a correct answer, £10 will be taken away. Paddy's Pick, all for charity. We're raising funds for the Shen UK. So if you're ready for this special Cheltenham Festival edition of Paddy's Pick, here we go. I've got every faith in you getting this spot on. This week's pick is one of the biggest jockey names in Cheltenham history.
Right, so it's either going to be Ruby or AP.
In Cheltenham history.
I'm going Ruby. Ruby Walsh.
You're absolutely right. I knew you'd get that right. It was never going to take that long.
No, because he was such a brilliant jockey, Ruby. And
well, let's tell you what he's done. He's one of the few jockeys to have won the Big Four championship races at Cheltenham at least twice. Champion Hurdle, Queen Mother Champion Chase, Stayers Hurdle and the Gold Cup twice. He's the only jockey to have ridden 7 winners in a single Cheltenham Festival week on 2 separate occasions in 2009-2016. Beyond Cheltenham, he has won the Aintree Grand National twice. First in year 2000 on horse trained by his father. He is the most successful jockey in the history of the Cheltenham Festival, retiring with a massive haul of 59 winners, a record that still stands clear of any active rider in 2026. I was looking at that the other day. There's some people kind of getting close, but they've still got some ground to make up. I mean, it is an amazing record. It's
an amazing record. He's a very funny bloke, very
he is
dry.
A really dry, funny guy.
I remember, because he always used to come up to Paddy's box when Paddy had a box, and he'd sort of give us the tips of the day. And then there was this posh bloke, I remember him, this guy had a few, and he basically, Ruby had ruled out a horse by Nicky Henderson.
Yeah.
And this bloke said, well, I think Henderson told me that this is... And I won't say what he said to this bloke. He sent him away with a flea in his ear.
Yeah.
Put it this way. And, it was brilliant.
So there
the
we
bloke
are.
was eventually arrested from the Royal Box with
Not
his trousers.
Ruby, we'd like to point
out.
No.
The bloke...
the other guy.
With his trousers hanging down by his ankles. It was quite...
Right, yeah. So this bloke...
Princess Anne wasn't impressed.
It's a long story,
let's put it
but
this way.
this same guy who questioned Ruby Walsh's tipping ended up being wrestled at the ground by Secret Service. Couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke. Brilliant. So, but not Ruby, I'd like to point out. So he's Paddy's Pick of the week for a stellar record of Cheltenham success. So that's £50, Andy, for the Shen UK. Well done. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
We have had some for you, big Tommy Cockles now, eh? What are you saying?
No, we
have some marvellous times.
One year, because normally we were either in a box or we were sort of overlooking the course. But I don't know why, but one year we were in a sort of like a shop.
Yeah.
The talkSPORT shop. We were like nowhere near the actual race course, in a glass-fronted sort of Canadian. So
Yeah.
I decided to. I got onto Amazon.
I was a little bit worried. Once or twice you stood quite close to the window and the light behind you. I think people maybe were getting the wrong idea. Nobody came in, though.
No.
Which I suppose says a lot, really.
Exactly. And I got these signs that said, on sale, that you put in the shop. I put them on the window. Management weren't too happy with me.
Generally, we have sight of the course, or we come up right close to the course and we get all the atmosphere. But there was the year we were in the shop front. But the first time we ever did this, we were in a cupboard.
Oh, the cupboard.
Yeah.
Vesti's cupboard.
It was a very late. This was at the early days of talkSPORT. It was a bit more seat of the pants back in about 2003. But we were in Lord Vesti's cupboard, weren't we? It was during the show. Various people were coming in, the staff, to get to the fridges to get more wine out.
I remember we were interviewing the late great Sir Peter O'Sullivan, and this other bloke from another radio station just pushed in and started interviewing him.
And he started windmilling in the way he does. You know, he was a bit tastier then. You know, he was a bit younger.
Wasn't happy about it.
So anyway, we're delighted to say we will be. We'll have a good view of the course tomorrow. We'll be up by the Guinness Village, bringing you all the racing. Big Alan will be on tomorrow morning from 6. Of course, on fine.
He's always on good form, and it's worth listening to if you're interested in what's going to happen in the race.
Yeah.
So
go and check out the Alan Brazil game as well. It's fantastic because one of the biggest questions, of course, at Cheltenham is not who's going to win the Gold Cup. It's whether Alan Brazil will actually make it to the breakfast show every day. Our money this year is on yes. And we got a good feeling about it.
I think yes, although he is threatening apparently a day off on Wednesday, which is a bit strange. But
okay, well, fair enough. So his fate is in your hands. We've launched Project Cheltenham. It's a brand new mobile game. It's a lot of fun. We were playing it earlier on, where you have to help Big Al beat the odds and get to air on time. Fast-paced sprint through the carnage around Cheltenham. You've got to dodge the detours and distractions, which include lobsters, for reasons that will become apparent if you download the game, whilst grabbing power-ups from his wife Jill and some talkSPORT superstar presenters, which clearly means we're not on it.
They put a lot of effort into this.
It's good. It's good. It's kind of old school. It's good. It's worth checking out.
Super Mario. It's like one of those, isn't it?
Yeah, so can you get into the studio? Play it right now on your phone by visiting talksport.com/game. That's talksport.com/game. And give it a go. See if you can get Big Al to the course. So
we both watched Best in Show in Crufts. One of my favourite things.
Crufts is we have a special word for Jim Rosenthal, who gives all the fly ball and agility and everything the same gusto as he would a World Cup final in the football.
Makes it though. He
brilliant.
Treats it properly.
Yeah, that's right. Treats it as proper sport. Good old Jim is on great form.
Yeah, it was good.
I was saying though, it was. I wouldn't say it was crashed. They brought in Claudia Winkleman. That's right. And I was wondering if in that meeting where they told Claire Balding, when they said, "Now Claire, we're bringing in Claudia this year for the first time." Do you think she went back and was like Fergie in the dressing room, throwing stuff around, Barry Fry teacups?
They really did overuse her, and it was at one point though she was sort of doing this like she is on the piano. I thought she was going to say to the dog, "Can the owner, can the dog play the piano?" Yeah, quite good.
Because she does. Yeah, that's
it was
true.
a lot of gushing, and but it didn't spoil it because it's the most wonderful event.
Sensational, and I'd say competitive sport. Wouldn't you?
Very much so, yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, it wasn't.
So it's Hawksbee. They're Crufts there. Hawksbee and Andy James. Steve Bruce are going to join us. Thank goodness, to bring us back to the world of football in a few moments' time. That didn't look too good at the Old Firm derby yesterday. We were bemoaning the other week. What a shame you can't have more away fans
so irritating.
at the games.
And it was, out of all those people there, it was a minority, and it's so frustrating.
So we'll be chatting to Steve about that and other matters besides. We are here, of course, in partnership with Toolstation. Explore the full collection of garden power tools with top brands such as Karcher and Makita. Next stop, Toolstation.
Let's go to Lauren, who's Arsenal fan. All right, Lauren?
Oh, hi, Jamie. Sorry, it's actually Laura, the Arsenal fan.
All right, Laura.
Hi. How are you, boys?
Yeah, we're good. How are you? You feeling good?
Up the Chelsea.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've just come fresh off the back of presenting the Arsenal game on TNT and just, to be honest, really enjoyed it, Jay.
Oh, it's Woodsy.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Woodsy. Woodsy, you've done it.
What's happening?
Woodsy, why is it taking you so long to phone us up?
Do you know what? I've been revelling in a brilliant season. I've just been enjoying myself.
You know what? It's bad if Woodsy's phoning us up. It's bad. Hold on. Where have you been when you've been bottling it, Woodsy? What's happened? All of a sudden you go 7 points clear and you phone us.
Jamie, I had to scroll down my phone. It took about 5 minutes to find you on the table.
Oh, Woodsy, this is
scrolling.
Spurs ain't even played, and it's the worst night for us ever. What is going on?
I don't even want to answer questions. I just want to ask you how you're feeling.
Woodsy, take the floor. I'll sit back and enjoy it. Right, take the
Woodsy, I feel sick. I feel sick as a dog right now. Honestly.
How awful is it? How bad on a scale of like 1 to Spurs is it right now?
I can't believe I'm getting stick off Woodsy.
Woodsy, can I ask you,
talkSPORT?
Woodsy, can I ask you a question? Woodsy, do you want Spurs to get relegated?
If I had a choice of which one, is that what you're asking me?
Woodsy, answer whatever way you want, right? Do you want Spurs to get relegated?
No, I absolutely don't want Spurs to get relegated because I want to enjoy more North London derby pummeling for years to come. For years to come.
Like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a storm.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. We're live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. Our festival gets underway tomorrow and we'll have lots of live racing for you and lots of top guests joining us from the course. But here at the Lansdowne today, Steve Bruce is with us, for Manchester United defender, Villa and Newcastle manager, of course. And we saw some pretty ugly scenes yesterday, the Old Firm derby between Rangers and Celtic. A lot of crowd trouble, lots of people on the pitch. David Tanner, our Scotland football correspondent, was on with Majestic and Alan Pardew on the final word after the game and had clearly had enough.
This isn't a reflection on Scottish football, it's a reflection on the supports of Celtic and Rangers.
I mean, he
and
was speechless.
That's how much of enough he's had.
He couldn't even bring himself to talk about it.
That has grown up in recent times, a subculture, if you will.
I think his silence speaks volumes.
Oh, well.
Okay, well, he was upset. Let's put it that
Very
way.
upset.
Alan was, or
not as upset as he is this afternoon when we played the clip.
Yeah, I know Alan would have been upset the way they got the win. When that sort of thing happens, I mean, as a player, when you're on the pitch, I mean, because a few of the players were involved and there were some worries that they could. I mean, that must be. Have you been in that situation where they've?
I don't think I've been in many skirmishes, and there was one famous one in Galatasaray a few years ago where it wasn't a pitch invasion; it was a fracas in the tunnel, shall we put it that way?
Oh, yeah.
But all sorts went on. But I have to say, yesterday it's one of them awful ones where, look, it's never going to replace the 80s, and thankfully, hopefully it's a one-off. I think ultimately they're not going to allow 8,000, 9,000 fans now because they basically can't police it, can they? Or where it comes to. But it's sad again, isn't it, that a few morons ruin it for the rest. And how often have we seen it, and especially in big games, and we want to enjoy the actual occasion, and when we see things like that coming on back into the screens, it's awful to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame. Going back to last week, chatting to the guy from River Plate, Ignacio. They have no away fans. You'll have 85,000 people watching a game. There's no away fans at the games. They don't allow it.
Hasn't that been Celtic and Rangers for years?
Yeah, more or less.
And they've left a little few in. Was it 700 they allow in? And then I think that before the weekend there was 2,000, which probably you can police 2,000 rather easily than a full stand of 7,500. And we all love the rivalry of the Old Firm, but when it travels into that and we see people and kids affected and young teenagers affected, then it's...
And it is a
not
shame,
great.
Steve, because I've only been to one of them. I think you have as well, haven't you, Randy? Have you been to many over the years?
I've been to a few, not a load.
And the atmosphere is brilliant, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I was at a game when both sets of fans were in there at Ibrox, and it's just... I've never been to a derby like it.
No, you probably aren't. But it always borders on the edge, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably why we enjoy it. But there's a difference between on the edge and making it as vocal as you possibly can as your team. But when it spills over to that and all of a sudden there's people, not safe, then unfortunately,
And as a manager, I mean, I was just 2011, Sunderland fan ran from behind the goal to push Steve Harper on the pitch after, and the fans were throwing seats after full time. When that was
I remember. I remember them running onto the pitch. I think we scored. Sunderland equalised in the last minute, and one fan ran onto the pitch, and that's a little bit different.
Yeah, sure.
It's a little bit different, isn't it? I mean, I was nearly arrested in my first managerial season when I took the team off at Sheffield United. Remember the throw-in where I thought he was going to throw it back to our goalkeeper, and all our lads went up and they threw it down the lane and crossed it, and Overmars scored, and all of a sudden we were like this. And
the game was replayed, though, wasn't it?
The game was absolutely replayed. And by the way, we're 2-0 down in the replay, and I thought, against the mighty Arsenal, I should have kept my mouth shut. But they replayed it, and rightly so, but in my opinion. But the winning goal was one of them debates and replay. But I was nearly arrested myself because I took the players off, and I remember the police officer saying there's going to be riots outside and you better get them back on there, so I jumped quickly to get them back on there.
Talking of Arsenal, they played some very young players at the weekend against Mansfield, and that's that. I suppose that's the other thing, is it kind of as a manager finding that balance, thinking, can you throw in a couple of kids at 16?
Dowman does look good.
Yeah, he does. He looks a player, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks a player, doesn't he? He looks a player. I mean, look, there's a lot said about Arsenal, which I can't really go there with a lot of people because, look, they are a very, very good team. And I'm looking over them over the last 2-3 years where they've finished second now, 3 years on the spin, is it? And people are saying, they've bottled it and this, that and the other. They've stayed with the project of what they're doing. I've got the utmost respect for Arteta and what he's put together. The recruitment, what they've made, they've been excellent in recruitment. Very, very quietly, they've got together a squad of players over the last 3-4 years, because let's remember back to when Arteta took over. He made some big decisions to get rid of big players, Aubameyang and all of these players, and everybody stood back and thought,
you've got to have the support from upstairs to do that.
But the support when it goes a little bit is crucial, and that's why I'm saying that's why from afar I'm looking at them saying they deserve to be where they're at. They've had a strategy, what they're going to do, stay with it, back the manager, back what they're doing, and look, I'll be amazed if they don't win the league.
They will win the league. I think the problem is they're very effective. There's no question about it. But they're quite hard to love. Let's be honest about this.
Not if you're an Arsenal fan.
No, of course not. Arsenal fans couldn't care less. They just care about winning. Everyone understands it's all about winning. But from a neutral point of view, and I'm not particularly neutral, but a neutral-ish point of view.
But Andy, you wouldn't want them to win if they were playing like tiki-taka, like Barcelona, would you? I mean, you don't care.
I'd admire it more. I'd admire the way they play more. I mean, I preferred the way they played when he first got them playing well. They were pretty great to watch.
They didn't win anything.
But it didn't win anything, so he's decided to be... I get it. He's decided to be more effective.
Steve, have you been in that situation? I mean, basically, you kind of... You look at the players you have, or you decide, this is the way I'm going to win games. You just have to be pragmatic.
Yeah, you have to be a bit pragmatic. It's a bit different trying to win. I mean, the two biggest jobs, arguably, that I've had have been Aston Villa and probably Newcastle. And both remit, and Newcastle in particular, was we've just got to stay in the Premier League. And I particularly didn't enjoy watching us play. But then all I could think of was I've got to keep this great club of ours, in the division.
Yeah.
This is where we're at this particular moment. And if I open up and we play expansive and we play the way everybody wants to play, then we're going to get beat. And if we get beat and get relegated, then it's not going to be on my watch.
Yeah.
So I went about a strategy where we were had a little bit of magic up the front, but we were organised defensively was, for me, the way forward. We weren't great to watch, I have to admit that, but it was all about me was for Newcastle to stay in the division, and I'll still stand by that. Of course, you would all love a team where you play two out-and-out wide players and number 10 in the centre forward and have two midfield players and rampage around. It would be wonderful, but very, very difficult
The thing
to
is,
get.
all I would say is that I'm asking for a friend. There's a big Premier League football club at the moment that find themselves in Stuck, in the case of Spurs. And you're wondering whether being a bit more front foot, being a bit more expansive and taking more chances and attacking and hopefully getting the home crowd certainly on their side is the way for them to stay up, because they look a mess at the back.
Yeah, they look absolutely dreadful at the moment. And then you have to question the people in charge where you say, but this is how fickle it is. And we're going to speak about rugby in a bit, aren't we? I mean, up until 3 weeks ago, England were the best team in the world. We'd won 11 on the spin. All of a sudden, we can't beat the Italians now in Rome. And it's sport and what we're doing. And when you think back to Spurs, Postecoglou came in, had a wonderful start, best start anybody's had, apart from Michael Carrick. And then he has really pigeonholed the European trophy.
Yeah,
he knew he wasn't going to do much in the league, and he knew he wasn't going to get relegated. So he now focused on, right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put all our eggs into try and win a European trophy. He wins the European trophy. 6 weeks later, he's hopeless. He hasn't got a plan B. I mean, I just don't get it, and I don't get it with the people who run these clubs now. Maybe listen to social media too often, because we're going to be this way, and Postecoglou's the way, and the way they've played. We've all enjoyed watching him play. When he started, every Spurs fan was saying, this is it, we've cracked it, he's the man for us. Within 12 months, they're now, I'm not so sure he's got plan B, and he's got to be a bit more. And I think that's where we're at the moment, and that's why I admire Arsenal, that they've stuck with their guns with, this is how we're going to do it, and we might be on the edge of being a little bit boring, but we're going to win, and we're going to win the Premier League, and we're going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they win 2 or 3, because no team would want to play Arsenal.
No, but I remember 2 years ago, or even 3 seasons ago at Brentford, they got a corner and they were taking ages, and I suddenly realised this is a deliberate ploy, and they've been allowed to get away with it and do it ever since. And if the rules are there for them to do it, fair play to them. But it's not great for football.
So you're not talking about time wasting here, as in time wasting that they're trying to run down the clock.
No, it's taking time out of the game.
Yeah, but if you're successful at that corner, and you're getting the goals that they're getting, if they're going to take a little bit more time, maybe that's part of what they're doing.
The problem is, Steve, in my view, is that the team that wins it kind of sets the pattern. So if it's a very expansive team like Pep, everybody tried to play like Pep. If everybody starts to try and play like Arsenal, that is not good for the league, I don't think. And I think a lot of the football this season, you've got to be honest, hasn't been that great.
Do you know the fascinating thing with football over there has become philosophies and how style of play and how you're going to play and this way and that way. There's no doubt Pep has had the biggest influence, probably since Arsene Wenger really, has had the biggest influence on a lot of young coaches. This is the way the game's got to be played. He was the first to inverted fullback, goalkeeper's got to be able to play from the back and all the rest of it. He has a style which is quite unique, the Johan Cruyff way and all the rest of it. He has Pep though. He'll tell you that the best coaches have the best players, and City over the years have had one, and even now, very quietly, they've put together a squad of players where you think, hang on a minute, this is not all done and dusted, because they're in a position where they could win 3 or 4 things.
Yeah.
They've got a lot to do in the Premier League, but it's as if it evolved. Look, 10 years ago, Tony Pulis has absolutely slaughtered that we can't take a long throw, and Rory Delap throws it in the ball. This is not the way football is. We can't play like that. Every team now in the Premier League seems to
long throws, big set pieces,
big set pieces on it.
Except for Chelsea.
And you know what's amazing about set pieces? Why aren't people why aren't people looking at set pieces and thinking, well, I tell you why we score so many goals. When is it you have 8 of your players, 7 or 8 of your players in the opponent box, and you're putting a cross in there or putting a ball in there? Because that's the way it is. And it's very rare in a game that you've got 7 or 8 players in the opponent's box.
Yeah.
So, it's been Big Sam years ago with Bolton. How effective were they playing?
Maybe we'll come back later on, Steve, to probably your most famous goal from a set piece. I can still see Brian Kidd and Fergie on the pitch, but we may well return to that later. Thanks, Steve. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
Lee Mears is going to join us, former England hooker. We're going to look back on the Six Nations and all the fallout, which is pretty immense from an England point of view, in a few moments' time. We're here live from the Lansdowne pub with Paddy Power, head of the start of the Cheltenham Festival tomorrow.
You're going to see me fight with a lot of passion and ferocity. I think when you're boxing a taller guy who's okay with sneaking a little split decision win or whatever else, you have to go and get him. So I'm looking forward to putting it on the line.
He knows you, you know him. There's a fair bit of mutual respect, is there, Tony?
Definitely. He's a tough fighter. He's someone who never ducked, so I respect that.
I mean, have you had history together before, as in sparring together? I know you were in the Rio
We never
Olympics.
spar. We never spar together. We went to the same Olympic Games, but we never spar. It was to the cruiserweight. It wasn't a cruiserweight.
Yeah. He picked up the bronze medal. You got the gold medal that year. Yeah. So it's an interesting time and an interesting clash. Did you ever think you was going to fight him?
I mean, when he went up to the heavyweight, of course, I was like, okay, maybe I can fight him, and especially because he's in the top 10, so that's a good opportunity.
How important is it getting home advantage as well? Because we was over at the Paris Olympics. You come up and done a piece for us for talkSPORT, actually, which was great. You brought your gold medal. I was hoping to see that today, by the way. But but you brought your gold medal, and it was fantastic. But they love you over there. You were sitting with the president at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great for me to have the opportunity to fight in Paris. I know Frank and George Warren been telling me that they want to build something great in France too. So yeah, let's do it. I'm really, really happy about the fact that I'm going to fight in front of my public.
I mean, winning a gold medal. What has the transition been like, Tony, going from Olympic gold medalist to professional fighter?
It's really tough. It's really tough because it's not the same style of boxing.
Former Celtic captain Scott Brown's told us only a small part of the Old Firm crowd always wants to spoil it for everybody else. Missiles and punches were thrown during a violent pitch invasion at Ibrox. Bill Leckie from the Scottish Sun has told Wyatt and Jordan the only solution is going back to no away fans.
Whether that upsets the ones who are good fans, I don't think should come into it. The fact is that they cannot be trusted to be in each other's company at the moment until they sort out and find a long-term solution.
Police in Scotland have made a number of arrests and are asking for the public's help to identify more troublemakers. David Graham from the Rangers podcast was at the game.
That to me was the worst, the most shambolic and the most inadequate policing operation I've ever witnessed at any football game.
Meanwhile, as the US-Israeli war with Iran continues, the Global Players Union is asking FIFA to protect the Iranian women's football team as they return home from Australia.
There may be players that want to return. There may be some players within the group that would like to seek asylum, would like to stay in Australia for longer. There may be some that are incredibly concerned about the potential journey home. It's an incredibly difficult situation.
That's FIFPro's President of Asia and Oceania, Bo Bush. Iran's women's team have been called wartime traitors back home for not singing the national anthem. And the fit again Erling Haaland's working on his speed ahead of Man City's Champions League game at Real Madrid live on talkSPORT on Wednesday, while Liverpool's Alexis McAllister has trained after a knee problem. Galatasaray versus Liverpool is our early kick-off on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow afternoon. You can get all the latest on the website at talksport.com.
Big Six Rugby Review on talkSPORT with the next level Peugeot 3008 Fastback SUV. Find your local retailer now at peugeot.co.uk.
Yes, time to look back on the Six Nations. Time to look back on the Six Nations now with Peugeot, a French car, of course. Let's not talk too much about the French with a weekend upon us. England go into that game and needing a victory, because otherwise 4 defeats in the Six Nations has never happened before. Here joining us, he didn't cancel, God bless him, is the former England hooker and Lions hooker Lee Mears. Are you, Lee?
Hiya, thanks for having me on.
You're a mate of Steve Borthwick's. You play with him internationally and at club level for Bath, and you know him, and so you were in camp last week. I mean, were you surprised and shocked by what you saw at the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was surprised after the Scotland game. The Ireland game was a bit of a humiliation, so I was really looking for a good response, and I just felt sorry for the boys. You could just see the pressure. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Italy. They were magnificent. But we looked in control. 8 points up, 20 minutes to go. They had a man in the bin. But that's sport at the moment, isn't it? Such fine lines.
Stuart Barnes in the Sunday Times yesterday, he was writing about the final line-out. And he said that the worst thing about it was that England didn't even jump to try and disrupt it. They let Italy have the ball and set up to basically stop them, even though they needed to regain possession to get the thing. And he couldn't believe this. He couldn't believe the lack of aggression and the whole thing. And I'm not an expert, but it did sound convincing.
Years ago, England played Iceland in a European Championship, and it was all unravelling. And a few of the players said afterwards they could see the headlines. I wonder if some of those England boys could see the headlines, because this was kind of humiliation from England. Even though Italy are an improving nation, they knew that they were going to get it. Maybe does that ever happen to players, or are you always in the moment?
Yeah, well, I'd like to say you're always in the moment, but you can feel that pressure. The weight of the England shirt is huge. But if you are, I mean, again, would you believe 4 weeks ago, I was sat there watching, everyone calling for Gregor Townsend's head.
Yeah.
They've now gone on a run and they could possibly win the championship. England came off the back of sort of 12 wins in a row, and now we're talking about, changing the whole squad. I think we've lost our way a bit, but you're 12 months out from a World Cup. There's you've got to take the learnings. You've got to get back on, get back in there.
What can you put it down to then? This sort of blip. Well, we hope it's a blip.
Yeah, I love the sport, and this is why I love rugby. Is the game's constantly evolving, and I think at the moment there's this kicking. A lot of people know you kick from 9. You're trying to create. You're hoping to get a tap back, and you're hoping that then it's broken field. The defences are shattered.
Is this the box kick?
This is the box kick. Yeah, but also other kicks. The defences are so good. You've got to try and kick to disrupt and have broken play. But it's almost like that was the way to win. South Africa were doing it well. We followed the trend. I believe now everybody's focused on how to defend those box kicks, and we're hardly getting any return out of it. So it will be the team that adapts the best, and that's why France. I mean, Scotland, I think, kicked 3. France hardly kicked any box kicks on the weekend.
Do you expect a lot of changes for France next weekend?
Oh yes, it'll be interesting to see where he goes. I mean, he made 9 changes for this one. So, can you make that amount of changes and still be fluid?
But sounds like the FA Cup, isn't it?
Yes, it does a bit. Yeah.
So I think we've got to. Yes, it's you're going to win. You have to win this game. I think nobody will want to go out, finish. You don't want to rewrite history, do you? And be, first time we've ever lost to Italy, and you don't want to be that team that's lost 4 in a row.
I mean, our chances of beating France in France, the way we're playing at the moment. I mean, that would be some. It would be some turnaround, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we did it. Was it last year? Everybody thought they were going to win the Grand Slam, so we have produced that big game. But yeah, it's going to be it will be huge. What will we all be saying if they pull it off? That's the question.
The RFU issued a statement yesterday supporting Steve Borthwick, said they're still behind the programme. But if they were to lose and break that record of losing 4 Six Nations games they've never done, is that going to pile the pressure on a bit more?
I think as an England coach, you're always under pressure. Borth loves the pressure. He'll have a plan. It's just can they execute? And again, if we change, we love a bit of change in England. Like I said about the Gregor thing, they were calling for his head. I think we've got it. The boys have to take control. I think Maro said it the best in terms of it is down to them, and they've got to deliver. That not going up in the line out, that giving away silly penalties. That's the
yellow cards.
The yellow cards is what's costing us at the moment. I wouldn't say that the management is. I don't think you can get to 12 in a row with a bad management structure.
The flip side of this, and it's not nice being on the end of it, is that it's kind of good for Six Nations that Italy are getting results like this, because we were saying off air, it wasn't that long ago, people were saying, maybe Argentina should be the sixth. Let's shake it up. But it's great, isn't it? The progression of the sport. I suppose it justifies by saying the development of it, it's the right nation to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, as a game at the moment, everybody's talking about it. I know football's our national sport, but when it's super competitive and everybody's beating everybody, there's no game next weekend that you can turn on and go, that's a bit of a dead rubber game. I think the sport is growing, and I'm sort of super proud to be part of it. Just at the moment, we're on the wrong end.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you actually get a wooden spoon if you finish bottom? Probably don't, do you?
I mean, who wants to present that to the coach, really? Talking of which, we should mention Wooden Spoon, the fine work they do. You're involved in the charity for the sport, aren't you?
Yes, it's a fantastic charity. And you mentioned that about it was formed in 1983 when England last won the Wooden Spoon in true traditional style. A load of blokes in a room realised that you can't just go on the smash and have a lunch. If you raise a bit of money whilst doing it, and that's the ethos of the Wooden Spoon. Is it's now obviously grown and it's matured, but it's a fantastic charity that tries to raise money, a bit like rugby clubs, for the local area. So the money you raise for your area stays and spent in the area. So I've been very lucky. I've been to the North Pole. I've been to Mount Everest trying to raise money for the charity. So yeah.
You're going to go to Mount Everest on Friday, I would imagine, so you haven't got to watch the game.
Yes.
Well, Lee's going to stick around. We've got some hooker questions for him in that role, because our old mate Jeff Probyn told us a story, and I want to see if it's true of Lee as well these days. Also, we're going to talk a bit about resurgent Wales. It didn't get the win. And when one of the fat lads gets a try, it's always a joy. So Lee Mears, former England Lions hooker, is with us, and we'll continue looking back on the Six Nations action with Peugeot.
Big Six Rugby Review on talkSPORT with the iconic Peugeot 3008 Fastback SUV. The road is your field.
Champions, honestly, the Europa League champions, Beyonce, Chicky, can you make someone hell of a beat the big cockerel, honestly, the big cockerel, Satan's by the stadium, there's that signing, where is he, can you here's that signing, you make someone hell of a beat the Morgan Gibbs White signing, what happened to that one, where's he gone? Can you be Morgan's way? You'll make some hell of a beat to the Williams side of Big Edge. Big Edge. Do me a favour. Can you be Big Edge? You'll make some hell of a beat to Big Edge. AJ Tracy, Seven Sisters train station. Adele, 3-point lane. There is to do. Jamie Horror, you'll make some one hell of a beating. Ticking. Adele. Chick Adele, Chick
all right,
Adele, you're making someone hell of a meeting.
Crestfallen.
Adele,
I'm crestfallen.
Chick Adele, hello. Chick Adele, hello. Chick Adele, hello. Chick Adele, hello. Chick.
All right.
Adele,
come on.
Adele.
Spurs.
Hello.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? It's the worst Tottenham side I've ever seen in the Premier League. It's the worst team I've ever seen ever.
Welcome back to the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. The festival gets underway tomorrow and we'll be at the course bringing you live commentaries, joined by lots of great guests. Today here in the Lansdowne, we're with Lee Mears, the former England Lions hooker, and Steve Bruce, former Manchester United centre-half, Newcastle and Villa manager. We'll come on to that because that's Lee's team. Villa. Just a couple of quick rugby.
Oh, now you've got me on. So
oh, yeah.
Give me a bit of stick over
no, we'll leave that to you can take Rupert to task.
He's an expert at it. He should stick to horses.
Yeah. Just a quick one on Wales. They didn't win against Ireland, but the green shoots, and that's good because it's saying having a good Italy side's good for the Six Nations. So having a competitive Wales side. And Reece carries that try. It's good to see one of the props get a try. What's it like as a hooker when one of your props flies off like that? Did you see it often, Lee?
Oh, my goodness. No, in my day, if you were in that much space, they'd either trip over or pretend that they pulled a hamstring. But, so graceful. Someone that size flying into the gap.
It was great. It was a real burst of speed, wasn't it?
Yeah, and did you see his face?
Yeah.
Just smiling as he went through, hoping that a back would get in his way so that he could smash them.
Yeah. Jeff Probyn used to tell us, the former England prop, that if he would kind of do a dinner, and it was like one of these England nights, and Brian Moore was there, his old hooker, and Paul Rendell, Judge was there.
Yeah.
If they went to the bar, they'd both be in their position, and then Brian would be in the middle. He said it happened naturally. Basically, they'd line up
in their positions.
Does that happen to you? Do you find yourself in a couple of your regular props? Do you find yourself sort of sandwiched in the middle of
migrating? Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, David Flatman, Matt Stevens, those boys. You're always if there's ever a fight, I'd probably be hiding behind them. But at the bar, though, they'd joke and say I'd be the last one to buy a drink, probably.
You're a Villa fan,
yes,
and you got into it. You're saying that sort of Platty and Tony Daly era. Cass was our own Tony Cascarino was up front.
Oh, I love the Villa. I had a few dark years, but it's so good to see them playing well now.
Not when Steve was there, obviously.
I was in the middle of the dark years. I was brought in to try and fix the dark years, and not so sure I did it either for a little while. But
again, it's another big club. We talk about managing Newcastle, but there's a lot of expectation on Villa managers as well, even when they're going through tough times.
Oh, I have to say, Aston Villa is a huge, big football club and a real traditional, great stadium, isn't it? Great supporters, and it had everything about it. And the reason why I probably got these jobs in Newcastle and Villa is because they were in trouble. And I think you get sort of pigeonholed in my lifetime of, well, if he seems to do a decent job everywhere he goes, and I ended up with Aston Villa, but they had only won, I'm just going to remind a few people, they'd only won 4 in 54 by the time. I mean, wow. Oh, and God. I take over when they're in the Championship, and they haven't won in the Championship either. I think they've won 1 out of 12. And I remember me first came in charge, and we sneaked a draw against Wolves. And I said to Steve Round, the technical director at the time, we're going to spend all our energy. You're telling me that we're going to try and get to the top end of the Championship. The first thing we have to do is stop the slide, because if we're not careful of what I'm witnessing so far, and I've only been in the club a week, Steve, we've got to stop the team getting relegated from the Championship. Never mind trying to get out. So that's all we just tried little by little, and we weren't awash with any money and this, that, and the other. But we survived in the first year and finished mid-table in the Championship, which is never going to be enough for Villa. And then the second year, I managed to bring John Terry along from Chelsea. Managed to persuade John to come and play for us for a while, because I knew from John he would help me sort out the dressing room if I could, and still had that real proudness about him, a real leader of men, and he very nearly got us over the line.
You got the playoffs, didn't you?
We got the playoffs, and we got beaten the final off of Fulham, and I'm saying this now. The right back at the time from Fulham, and I'll get him in a minute, he stamped on Jack Grealish after 20 minutes. And the referee was right there and didn't send him off, so that still registers. Not that I'm sad and bitter and twisted, but Grealish got stamped on, and he should have went down to 10 men, and we got beat 1-0 of a player who I let go when he was at Hull, who've come back and done very, very well. Tom Kenny. Who I'd let go about 3-4 years previous to that.
Did he remind you?
The interesting thing about Villa, though, is that the mix of fans they have a lot of posh fans, like Prince
Or
William.
like Rupert, the
Like
Cotswold
Rupert,
set.
They speak well like Rupert.
From this
yeah.
area, which is an interesting mix, really.
Well, that's the fascination of Birmingham, because Birmingham's the other end. Birmingham's your real salt of the earth, and then you've got the Villa, who are prawn sandwich brigade. Is Roy.
Oh, wow. Is that
Roy,
right?
perfect.
Is that right, Lee?
What are you, Lee?
Yeah, Lee's one of them. Well, absolutely. You can tell straight away.
I'm a West Country boy. I think, my hometown was Torquay, so yeah.
There you go.
But you couldn't support them, let's be honest.
No.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
It's very harsh.
I only said that for Charlie.
You're going to be in trouble with Charlie Bacon tomorrow.
I'm teasing him.
You had a cream tea in Devon the other day. You were down in Plymouth.
I did.
And you went. What did you go? You went
cream first, then jam.
That's which is Cornwall, isn't it?
Jam first.
Yeah. So Charlie's going to have your guts regardless tomorrow, definitely. Just quick one on Jack, actually, because things are picked up at Everton, but when you're kind of watching his career progress as someone who worked with him, I mean,
he was
City
fabulous.
didn't really work out for him.
Do you know, after that playoff final, that summer, I was plagued by Daniel Levy, and the head of Steve Round had left, the head of the football operations, and the CEO, Keith Winus, had gone, and all that summer was just trying to fend off Daniel Levy, who was trying to prey off the Villa at the time because we had no money.
Not like him.
No, not at all.
And he plagued me all summer that he wanted to buy Jack Grealish and put something like 8 million, 10 million quid on the table, and we were never going to take it at that, But if it had got to probably maybe double that, then might have had to sell him. Thankfully we didn't, because he went on to get 100 million 2 years later. 100 million to City. He lives around the corner from me, Jack, and I'm always intrigued to see how he does. And I know not going to the Euros devastated him, where he thought he was, after being involved with it all the way through, didn't quite happen for him. And he's gone to Everton and really lit up the place at Everton. He was big to Evertonian, and he's got injured at the wrong time for him.
And they're doing well, Everton. They're having a good season.
They are having a good season, and he, to start with, was doing fantastically well, and I'm absolutely delighted. You know something? He's a really, really smashing lad who just loves football. He gets himself in trouble now and again, but don't we all?
Character, which we need.
He's a character and something a bit. But he's one of these who, he gets you off your seat. He can do something, that little bit of magic. And he was terrific for me. And typical for me in Villa, he hurt his kidneys back then and missed 6 months of the season.
Blimey.
In an innocuous challenge in pre-season. And he was in hospital for the best part of 3 weeks. And it was a really, really nasty injury, and took him 6 months to get over. So I wish him a speedy recovery now.
Lee, were you a relatively lucky man injury-wise, touch wood, in your career? Do you have any bad ones?
No, it depends what you call bad in rugby. I detached both biceps off the bone.
That don't sound great.
No, had them stitched back on. I was super proud. I was back playing within 4 months.
I haven't got any biceps, I'm fine.
They couldn't have found them.
I have to say, these lads, especially where he played, can you imagine being in the middle of this scrum when all these big lads, and they're pushing you from behind and pulling you this way?
It's like defending against Arsenal.
You just have to take your hat off to them, don't you, and say, wow.
Like a corner for a...
like an Arsenal corner.
An Arsenal scrum. Absolutely.
Well, Lee, fingers crossed for England, your old mate Steve Borthwick at the weekend. I said they can get up, because that would be a great result, wouldn't it? That would quieten everything down and win in France. But it's a tall order.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. We'll be over there. Super Saturday, 3 games. What a weekend, I think. Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah, but you're at Cheltenham tomorrow, so enjoy.
Yes, I will do. Be behaving.
And thank you very much for joining us today. All the best.
Thanks for having me.
Lee Mezier, the former England hooker. And Steve's going to stick around. We're going to talk a bit of Manchester United with Steve. Are they, in terms of sort of ex-players, getting a bit Bayern Munich? We'll get Steve's take on that. And other matters besides. We're here live at the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham with Toolstation. Check out their wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation.
Has the hiring of Edu destabilised the best season in a generation at Nottingham Forest? And how much responsibility does Evangelos Marinakis have to take for it? We understand that he's been told to stay away from the City ground pending a termination of his contract at the end of the season. I know that Forest fans will be reluctant to criticise Marinakis, but is this a mess of his own making? Because he had a manager who was very successful, almost took them to the Champions League. He started to interfere, and all of a sudden they ended up dropping down eventually into the Europa League, but then they lost to Nuno Espirito Santo very quickly. So is this got to be on Marinakis' shoulders?
Of course it is. And do you blame Nuno Santo when you've got a sporting director coming in and probably not giving you a say on any players that you're bringing in? What do you expect as a manager? And if you speak to the older generation of managers, they'll say, what? Someone's telling me what players are coming in, and I'm going to get judged.
That is the way of the world now, though.
I know, but then is that fair as a manager? Like we said in previous shows, sporting directors should be coming on and doing press. You're the one bringing in the players. The manager's doing the best they can with these players. They might have wanted 10 other players that you have said no to. Some of the players that they brought in Nottingham Forest, Douglas Luiz on loan didn't work. Zinchenko on loan didn't work. Amari Hutchinson, 37.5 million. Only one Premier League goal in 22 appearances. McAtee, 30 million. Hasn't worked. Ndoye hasn't worked. Bakwa hasn't worked.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon with your sports headlines. I'm Will Hobbs. The breaking news this afternoon, Rodri has escaped a ban after admitting an FA charge following comments he made about the referee after City's 2-2 draw with Tottenham. He said the referee was not neutral during the game, so he's escaped a ban, but he's been fined 80 grand. Elsewhere, 5 players from the Iranian women's football team have sought refuge in Australia after the team's exit from the Asia Cup. It's after Iranian state TV branded the players wartime traitors for refusing to sing the Republic Islamic anthem for their match versus South Korea. Elsewhere, are we set for another stretch of extremely limited away allocations at the Old Firm? The decision to grant Celtic the full allocation was the first time it's happened since 2018.
It's interesting about rules being quoted as the SFA enforcing a 20% rule around the stadium capacity, yet the rules in the SPFL require you to provide a certain amount of away fans for the SPFL games, and Rangers and Celtic seem to have ignored that for years. So I don't really understand why they couldn't have ignored it for this game.
Champions League team news now. Alisson is out of Liverpool's Galatasaray tie with a minor injury. Jed Spence is back training for Spurs ahead of their match with Atleti tomorrow, and Erling Haaland is expected to be fit to face Real Madrid. Former Newcastle and Nottingham Forest promotion winner Jack Colback has announced his retirement from professional football, and former England hooker Lee Mears says the way to arrest the spiralling decline in Six Nations results for England is not to get rid of Steve Borthwick. He says the players themselves can fix the issues.
It is down to them, and they've got to deliver. That not going up in the line out, that giving away silly penalties, that's the
yellow cards.
The yellow cards is what's costing us at the moment. I wouldn't say that the management is. I don't think you can get to 12 in a row with a bad management structure.
It's been announced today England will begin their next Six Nations campaign in Dublin on the 5th of February 2027.
talkSPORT News.
The AA is urging drivers to cut down on non-essential journeys as oil prices soar, and train chaos continues in Glasgow after a fire in a vape shop yesterday. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Whatever the winter weather, Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres. Guaranteed for 25,000 miles. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Remaining largely dry apart from in the west, generally mild temperatures turning cloudier and murkier into the evening.
Under new boss Michael Carrick, Manchester United has absolutely erupted this season with a stunning record of 6 glorious wins, 1 hard-fought draw and only a single bump in the road with 1 loss. The Red Devils have rocketed up the table, landing in a thrilling 3rd place.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3.
United has won again every single team on top of the table. Newcastle, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, all of them, Chelsea, they beat every single team.
What a goal! A winner! They end Manchester United's unbeaten run under Michael Carrick. He trudges off. He looks sick as a parrot.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. We'll be on course tomorrow for the festival. Lots of live races and top guests joining us today here in the Lansdowne. Steve Bruce is with us. And we're hearing a little bit there from that Newcastle-Manchester United game. Split loyalties, I guess, Steve, to an extent in a game like that. But we should talk about Manchester United. I mean, what about the job that Michael Carrick has done? What have you made of it so far?
Well, I think all of us are absolutely delighted for him of what he's done. I mean, it's quite a remarkable start. He's had his first defeat at Newcastle, which will disappoint them because they didn't really turn up, did they, really, on the night? They were, from where they were a few weeks ago under Michael, all of a sudden they're playing against 10 men and they really, really didn't grasp the situation. I'm sure Michael had thought that way too, but up until then, you'd have to say you take your hat off to him and quietly gone about it. And of course, and what I said from day one is, no matter who you are and where you've been and what you haven't done or you have done, unless you get into Man United and find out what it's about, then you don't know. I mean, when I first went, even years ago, you hear it's a big club, but you don't realise of the scrutiny what's on you, the spotlight what's on you, the intensity of everything is on you from the day you walk into the ground. It's so big.
And you come from Norwich.
And I came from Norwich at the time, but even then it engulfed me by the size of it, you know. Wherever you go in the world, whatever. Back in the day it was all newspapers. There was 5 pages on Man United. It was... The intensity of it is incredible. The scrutiny in the spotlight is on you totally, which is part of being a big, big club. And handling that is always the hard part, in my opinion. Michael knew the club straight away. 10, 12, 13 years. In this quiet demeanour he's got, there's obviously a streak in him which we all know he's got. I know he's got. Because you wouldn't have been such a good footballer without it.
Yeah.
So we know he's got that. And he's got an instant respect of the players. Now, how does he go about it? Of course, he's got 2 or 3, 4 back injured, i.e. Martinez and Maguire being fit, Kobe Mainoo coming in there, and I think the biggest one of all is playing Bruno Fernandes in his position, which is a 10. Instead of this rotation.
Amorim made a right mess of this job. He did.
Well, look, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about Arsenal before and in styles of play. Everybody to a T was talking, well, you know, this 3-4-3 became so stubborn that you don't change and you stay with it because this is what you believe in. Look, you've got to win football matches. If you're Man United manager or head coach, you've got to win football matches and you've got to play in a certain way too. You know, we hear the West Ham way or the Spurs way. If you're Man U and you're used to what they've been over the recent history, you've got to play with players who get you off your feet a little bit and off your seat a little bit and play in a way which suits Man U. And I think Michael's done all of that, handled it really, really well, handled the media really, really well. I mean, he even had to intervene when Jim Ratcliffe came out with these comments. I mean, Michael, for just in the job, has had to sort of, guide him through that too. So fair play to him, he's done terrifically well.
I don't think they're a million miles away with their squad. They've got some very good players, and Lemons has been a success, which they needed.
Well, I have to say, I didn't realise the boy Lemons was only in his debut season last year in Belgium. So to go and get him and him perform, I thought at Everton the other week there, where Everton tried to intimidate him, he was absolutely terrific in his handling, in his situation when coming for crosses, and where he handled it was terrific. And you have to say, there's a tick. And also, Mbeumo, Cunha, and it looks as if Sesko's now starting to get it. But them two in particular, and Bemo, and they've been in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Cunha,
they're Premier League ready.
They're Premier League ready. And, you know, there's been a clamour for centre forwards this year in particular. And for all the centre forwards that come in, it's very, very difficult to handle the Premier League, you know, because you've got to give them time and let them adapt. And certainly them two, Cunha and Mbeumo, have been there, wore the T-shirt in the Premier League. So it was no fluke that they're going to do well.
No.
Our own Alex Crook is a big Manchester United fan, and he covets Adam Wharton. I know he does, because I follow him on Twitter, and every time Wharton does something...
I'm not a massive fan after last Thursday, to be honest.
Oh,
but
is he any better than Menu? All of a sudden, we haven't seen Menu. Then all of a sudden, he's come back and played 8-10 games, and you think, where's this kid been? He's only 21-year-old.
Oh, no, he's good. But you need more than one, and he's left-footed, and Manu's right.
Well, I think, I think that, well, obviously they're going to lose Casemiro, who has been a fantastic football player over the years. So there is one to look. I think Michael now, at this particular moment, will be just concentrating on the next 8, 9, 10 games, wherever it is, and seeing how many results he can get. And I hope, that he puts himself in pole position, because, as I've said,
they should make Champions League. They should do.
I mean, but
do you think that's the minimum he has to do to get the job? You think?
I think if you had said a few weeks ago when they were 14th or 15th at the Champions League, you probably were scratching my head thinking maybe Europe.
Yeah. So he's exceeded expectations already.
Look at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Come on, they've got to be in the Champions League, and I think that's what he'll be concentrating on. And if he does, then that hopefully will put him in pole position, because as we've seen before about the mighty Bayern Munich and this, that and the other, of people up top who have opinions, at the end of the day, their manager only managed a couple of years at Burnley, didn't he, before getting the big job of Europe. So let's hope it can open the door for Michael.
He did that classic thing of refusing to, and it's been noticeable that the teams that have come up this year have tried to be a bit more pragmatic, you know, and have been more effective, whereas there was that thing where you'd come up like Russell Martin and him, they'd still try and play this nice looking football, but it would catch them out because they didn't really have the players to play that way.
And that's why I think, and I've said it many, many times on your show too, that maybe some of the young coaches maybe need a little somebody with a bit of grey hair, just to say to them, nothing wrong with being pragmatic, you know. I know you've got your beliefs and what you want to play, but if you're in a team that you take out the Championship, no matter who you are, take it into the Premier League, and you try and play the way you've played out the Championship, you're going to come unstuck because you're playing against better opposition. So you've got to find another way. And I just feel the young breed of coaches these days are set in their ways that this is the way we're going to play and this is we're going to stick to it. And maybe Ruben Amorim, and when he sits back and looks at it and think, did I get just involved with just my tactics and the way I see the game? And you've got to have the ability to change, in my opinion.
I mentioned Bayern Munich earlier on, in the fact that, as you said, Steve, you've got all these great ex-players working in the media, doing columns, doing podcasts on telly, and that brings another pressure. We saw Paul Scholes have a bit of a pop at Michael Carrick the other day, and you think, I mean, not particularly helpful. Well, that's an added pressure on the job because there's so many people in the media from the club having their say.
Yeah, I think, and even me, I'm now talking on radio. And, it's. I'm praising Michael because I think he's done a remarkable job, and I think he deserves maybe a crack at it. Yeah. I can understand there's a clamour to say we should have somebody bigger and better and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but not at this stage of the season when he got brought in.
Yeah, they did exactly the right thing, and he hit the ground running, which was great to see. A bit like what Solskjaer did. Yeah. He hit the ground running when Michael was working alongside him. Yeah, it can't be helpful. But look, if you're going to be the head coach or manager of Manchester United, right, you've got to handle that criticism is going to come your way. In fact, if you're the manager, full stop, of any club in this profession, criticism is going to come why you picked this. And especially now with, social media the way it is, it's out there in your face for everybody to see.
Yeah. Steve Bruce is with us, going to keep chatting. It's been a bit of breaking news from a player that he knows well. We're going to get his reaction to that very shortly. Just on the boxing front, there's some huge fights coming out over the next few weeks, live on DAZN, including this weekend. Live from Dublin, Jazz Dickens defends his WBA World Super Featherweight title against Anthony Kakacha on St Patrick's Day in the weekend showdown. Then on March 21st, it's George Liddard, the Billericay bomber, takes on Tyler Denny for the British and Commonwealth titles. And also on March 28th, the spotlight shifts to the future heavyweight champion of the world, Moses Italma, taking on Jermaine Franklin. Franklin previously went 12 rounds with AJ and has never been knocked out. Well, I think that record could go. Watch all these fights only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
I'm prepared to wait. You're listening to Hawksbee and Jacobs on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Check out the wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation.
Igor Tudor, the same Igor Tudor, concentrated in taking whatever positives he could find out of that result.
They're disappointed, they wanted more. We are aware of that. We also want to give more. Unfortunately, this is the moment that we pay everything. Maybe it will sound strange, but I believe more after this game than I believe before. I saw something. I need to choose the right guys, because the boat, I said, now is going in direction that I want to go, that need to go, and who is in the boat can stay. Otherwise, can bow down. How you say that? Leave the boat. So when the other players will come back and choosing the rights, I'm sure that we will have a good teams and the victory will come back.
That was Igor Tudor grasping onto the positives as he saw them after the home defeat to Palace. But Simon, I think, if I remember rightly, you said if they lose to Fulham, they lose to Palace in mortal danger.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they've got. I mean, the only thing that will keep Spurs up at this moment in time is the other teams beneath them don't close the gap, because right now the only thing that's holding them up is the other team's previous performance. I mean, there's not a lot we can take from the Palace game. He went hard after the players. So and it didn't get much of a reaction, did it? So that to me was him looking at things, saying, "Okay, well, I said what I said. It didn't get me very much, so I'm going to have to perhaps change tack and say I saw something in the second half, which is we lifted a leg."
the county, and I drive the main road.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. Steve Bruce is with us. We'll chat more shortly, but first, listen up, F1 fans. We're sending two of you to the British Grand Prix on Sunday, July the 5th, with a full racing green trackside experience. Forget the general admission, you're getting exclusive grandstand seats plus inner track access to watch the drivers roll into the paddock. And we've got the whole day sorted with all day street food, a fully open bar and more. It's the ultimate British Grand Prix, completely on us. Here is how to enter. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. That's WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or you can call 0343 418 7260. Lines close the 20th of March 2026 at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 833 now.
So I'm glad it only runs to March the 20th. When I first heard it on talkSPORT, I was thinking, we're not going to have to read that till July.
We'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
So, Steve Bruce is with us, and Jack Colback has announced his retirement from the game. I think he's been playing a bit of Northern Prem in his latter years, but it was at QPR more recently. You worked with him twice, didn't you? Sunderland and Newcastle.
Sunderland and Newcastle, yeah. And first and foremost, what an absolute great pro and a great lad. You know, above anything else, he was absolutely, he's had a huge desire to win and be good, and came through. Was probably a Newcastle boy, and
it was.
Came through the academy
at Sunderland.
Went through the academy at Sunderland. So, but I was aware of him very, very early, and he was a pleasure to manage, Jack. I have to say, I hope he's well in himself and he enjoys retirement.
Now, you crossed the Rubicon, Steve. You managed Sunderland and Newcastle, but with a gap. But with Jack, he had a little loan spell at Ipswich under you, but he went from Sunderland to Newcastle. I mean, almost there are his two clubs, and he got a bit of clog for it, didn't he?
He got a bit of clog for it, yeah. And I think it's always when things aren't going well. Then if things are going rosy for you, then, but it became very easy for him to be the fall guy, unfortunately, when things weren't going so well. So, but he had, I was going to swear on radio, he had a pair where he could, to go and take it on. And he never flinched. He never flinched for it because he was a really, as I said, a really good pro, good player, really, really steady Eddie, and tenacious of what he did. He had a fantastic career. When you look at, Newcastle and Sunderland and Ipswich and QPR, you can look back on it. He must be 36, 37 now.
I was going to say, it's very ageing, isn't it? When you remember a player like a young player and then he's retiring. No, for all of us.
All of us, yeah.
Do you see him as a coach? Do you see him,
I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in it. I wouldn't be surprised at all to work with maybe young ones or something like that. But it's like now when I look back at my Sunderland time and I give Jordan Henderson his first real go, and all of a sudden we've watched him through his career go and play for England and do what he's done, and even now to this day, and even now
I've seen him a lot this year for Brentford. He's terrific.
Terrific, yeah. Do you know something? As an 18, 19-year-old, he had unbelievable leadership skills that I always knew that he was going to be a captain. Didn't last long at Sunderland for me because Liverpool come and took him, and a great signing by Kenny, I have to say, Kenny Dalglish, and he went to Liverpool and captain England, and delighted. And I think it was the same sort of time as Jack as well,
Are there certain players you see and you think, they're going to be coaches? I expect there are boys that you think they're never going to stay in. Once they've finished football, you'll never see them again. But
there's some who surprise you as well. I never thought Mark Hughes would stay in it, and here he is, even managing in non-league, really. And fair play to him, and he's still got a real desire for the game, and that's why he's doing it. He doesn't have to do it, but wants to do it, wants to be involved, because football has been his life, and here's me now talking about it, and how lucky have I been over the years that football has been my life, and that's why we go back into it and go back managing, and because it's part and parcel of you. And there's a few who turned into coaches. Rosinia's the obvious one.
Yeah.
He did a bit with.
But you were saying earlier on, you could see the coach in him even then.
Yeah, absolutely. He could see a little bit in him, and there's others where you didn't think he would ever do that, and they've gone in to do it.
The other little bit of breaking news is around Rodri at Manchester City, of course. He's got an £80,000 fine and warned about his future conduct. They said he accused the ref.
80,000?
80 grand, that's it, yeah.
Wow.
It's not suspended.
We all think it's suspended.
No, it's not.
No, it's not suspended.
No, they want their 80 grand, the FA, to put in the grassroots, I'm guessing, or an incredibly
what on earth has
good
he said?
dinner.
Has he hit somebody with an axe?
It was after the Spurs game. He was a bit upset. He felt they'd been sawn off, not just in that game, but a number of other games, and called it the FA. In FA speak, and I should do the voice, it was alleged the midfielder acted in an improper manner during a post-match media interview by making comments that implied bias and or question the integrity of a match official and or match officials, contrary to FA rule E3.1.
Oh, no, not E3.1.
Oh, it's E3.1. You don't want to break E3.1.
You don't want to do that.
No, you can't do that.
He said basically they'd been sawn off. He said he was frustrated after one of the goals, and he said this happens to us a lot. Basically, we
don't give them any leeway, though, do they? We're talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, as a manager and a player,
we just talked about in the break, didn't we? I mean, you know, you've just lost a goal in the last minute or whatever, and it's a refereeing decision or whatever, and 2 minutes later you're in front of a microphone and the cameras, and all of a sudden emotion takes over, and you probably afterwards on the bus thought, I wish I hadn't have said that. And there's certain times I've said, coming back thinking, what have you said that for? Absolutely. But I remember one time back when I was younger, when I was manager of Sunderland, and you had Stan Collymore on here and questioning me this and questioning me that and questioning me the other, and I remember pulling the car in to try and ring the radio station. What on earth are you doing? You know, when you're young you do all these stupid things, but I think that's a bit unfair, and what a fine that is, 80 grand, wow.
When you're going, I mean, there's a famous clip of you, Steve, when you go into one of the one of your regular press conferences, and you're not making eye contact with any of the media, and they're putting questions to you. And it's just when you're at war, when you're at a club and you're at war, maybe with the local media, you know, it must be pretty tough as well, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it was one of the toughest times, and because I always think that they're out on your every word.
Yeah,
they're listening to every word, and then jumping on the back of it, and maybe turning things around. And I was never ever like that before. I always thought, listen, just speak as you find and get on with people and this, that and the other, and especially with the local people. You know, but that journalism doesn't seem to exist anymore, you know. There's no journalism that exists in the truth, really, because I think everybody just wants a click. And look, I have never disrespected the media or whatever, because it's a huge, huge part, and here's me sitting talking about it, but it becomes very, very difficult when you have to watch every word that you say is going to be examined.
I imagine our social media team are already putting together Steve Bruce storms into media, modern media, for clicks. Of course not.
I'm going to get on Twitter, I think. That's the next one now. It's not called Twitter anymore, is it?
No. Now, Steve Bruce is with us, and we're going to bring in Rupert Bell, because...
no.
We're going to keep them apart. It's going to be a bit like when we have a couple of boxers in the studio. Because back in the day, Rupert, as a Villa fan, was a bit critical of Steve, wasn't he? He took him to task on a couple of things. So maybe it's nice to get the two of them together and make up.
Have you got what he said?
Oh, we'll find it.
Can you find it?
Yeah, we have got it.
We have got it. Marvellous.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
No.
Come on, Rupert.
Rupert's shrinking into his seat at the
moment. I don't blame him.
Anyway, stick around for that. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs live from the Lansdowne pub ahead of the Cheltenham Festival, which we bring you tomorrow with our good friends at Paddy Power.
It was pathetic yesterday. Absolutely pathetic, lads.
Yeah, very true, mate.
Shocking. So, all right, so where are you off now? You off to the airport?
I'm at West Ham tonight, and then I've got a good couple of days, mate. I'm Atletico Madrid, Spurs, and then Real Madrid, Manchester City, both in Madrid. So I'm having a wee chat. I'm maybe get back on Friday, but I don't know, mate. But you'll be carrying a can, no problem at all with those.
Well, Andy's coming Friday as well, so we're going to have
Brilliant.
We're going to have a great week. It's very foggy at the moment, but that doesn't matter. That'll lift by the time the tapes go up on Tuesday in the Supreme. Can't wait, really can't wait. It's going to be such an open, good racing as well, and loads of
Fantastic,
fans.
mate.
I've had so many calls and texts. Can you get me a ticket? I'm coming down. Crikey.
Yeah.
So many people coming. It's going to be magic.
He's like ticket taking, you are.
I know.
It's going to be amazing, lads. I was listening to the show this morning. The show's been brilliant. John, it's a great spot you've got there, obviously. I heard Simon on. I mean, the build-up's just going to be fantastic. I can guarantee you'll be watching it. Mark will be there. We'll have a phone and the iPads out and we'll be watching it, mate. So, best of luck to you all, you
Ali,
boys.
what
Hope you
about
have a great week.
Ali, those games in Madrid, what are you thinking?
Oh, crikey. You'd be a brave man that would say Atletico Madrid won't beat Spurs, do you know what I mean? To be honest with you. Yeah. And then the other one, Andy, Ray, I think Real Madrid have got problems, you know, I really do. Well-documented problems. I could see actually City winning the game. I think City will go through in the tie. I could actually see them winning the game in Madrid, to tell you the truth.
Former Celtic captain Scott Brown's told us only a small part of the Old Firm crowd always wants to spoil it for everybody else. Missiles and punches were thrown during a violent pitch invasion at Ibrox. Bill Leckie from the Scottish Sun has told Wyatt and Jordan the only solution is going back to no away fans.
Whether that upsets the ones who are good fans, I don't think should come into it. The fact is that they cannot be trusted to be in each other's company at the moment until they sort out and find a long-term solution.
Police in Scotland have made a number of arrests and are asking for the public's help to identify more troublemakers. David Graham from the Rangers podcast was at the game.
That to me was the worst, the most shambolic and the most inadequate policing operation I've ever witnessed at any football game.
Meanwhile, as the US-Israeli war with Iran continues, the Global Players Union is asking FIFA to protect the Iranian women's football team as they return home from Australia.
There may be players that want to return. There may be some players within the group that would like to seek asylum, would like to stay in Australia for longer. There may be some that are incredibly concerned about the potential journey home. It's an incredibly difficult situation.
That's FIFPro's President of Asia and Oceania, Bo Bush. Iran's women's team have been called wartime traitors back home for not singing the national anthem. And the fit again Erling Haaland's working on his speed ahead of Man City's Champions League game at Real Madrid live on talkSPORT on Wednesday, while Liverpool's Alexis McAllister has trained after a knee problem. Galatasaray versus Liverpool is our early kickoff on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow afternoon. You can get all the latest on the website at talksport.com.
My best Villa moment to date. It was early on, the second game, when we won in the last minute at Reading. The way the supporters were, the way the staff were, you'd think would qualify for Europe.
It's Ayew who scores!
for Aston Villa. Scenes in the away end as Villa edge closer to their first win in 11 games.
Still a hostage to fortune again.
I can get a team together that can get out of this division.
Kenny's in! Kenny scores! Wonderful goal for Fulham! Made by Sessegnon and finished by Tom Kenny. Fulham 1, Aston Villa 0.
Bruce messed up the defence. He gets rid of Elphick, so we're so short of defensive cover. It's just bonkers.
Big Orange with half a follow to go. He's still there. Go on, Big Orange. He may get there. Corner of St George. Lip and duck. I think he's done it. Yes, you beauty.
Yeah, there was caller of the week, Rupert Bell, very angry Aston Villa fan, live from the Cotswolds, having a bit of a pop at Steve Bruce.
Yeah, he used to phone in, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Rupert. How are
Steve,
you?
I've got something for you.
What is it?
A lettuce, as opposed to a cabbage. Sorry.
It needs to be bigger than that. Come on.
Yeah. Sorry, we couldn't find a cabbage in Cheltenham that was, near
big
here.
enough.
But I just thought a lettuce.
Was it you who threw it at me?
People suggested I did, but I was
You're
not.
better than
I was
that.
10 seats away.
You've got a posher voice than the guy who did it, actually.
Yeah.
I remember, Steve.
How did he get into the ground with it?
I don't know. Well, that's what I thought afterwards. I'm thinking, of all the things to carry to a ground.
Yeah.
Because when it happened, really, at the time, I thought it was a ball, you know. I thought he threw a ball
You should
at
have
me.
volleyed it.
Well, maybe headed it. Didn't know how to volley it. Maybe headed it. Maybe headed it. Yeah,
If people don't know, there is a story when it wasn't going too well with Villa for Steve. Somebody did throw a cabbage at him. You couldn't find a cabbage, Rupert, no?
No, we're just a bit too far away from the posh supermarkets here in
Okay, they
Cheltenham.
only sell lettuces.
Yeah, but
They only sell lettuce
the
in
garage
town.
at the end has got a lettuce. So
See, if we had Liz Truss in, that would have worked.
yeah, it would have done. But we come up with the best thing. So a sort of bad gag didn't really work in the end. But we tried.
We're on radio, so we can't tell the difference, really.
Well,
although it's coming
No,
out.
YouTube.
Steve has been incredibly magnanimous about the fact he's sitting next to a man who slagged him off on national radio. But Mrs. Bruce, you encountered her a little while ago. She's less forgiving, I understand.
No, it was shortly after I got Steve the sack that Mrs. Bruce came up to me at Sir Peter O'Sullivan's awards lunch,
right,
and absolutely tore me.
She would have
off
said,
the
"I
strip.
can't stand you. You're a piece of work. I'll just punch you in the mouth. You're a terrible person."
And we were having a lovely lunch, but unfortunately,
You didn't have your pudding, did you?
No. I was sent away with the tail between my legs. And Mrs. Bruce, if you're listening, please forgive me. The water things have obviously gone all right since. But
we should remember that, Steve, for the families. You know, for your family and stuff. They read this stuff. They hear. Well, they're in the stands. And they are in all this. It's not easy. I
have to say, an old joking aside, the one thing when I see a manager come under the pump is visibly you can see that he's obviously fighting the world, and it is really, really it's an awful place to be in too. And the only people who really are your real support is the people who are close to you.
Yeah.
And it affects them too, you know. Especially at the big level now, they don't want to see the husband, unless they don't like them, of course. You know what I mean? They don't want to see their husband or their son or whatever. You know, it affects me son, it affects me daughter, it affects everybody. And of course I try to say to them, listen, don't read it or don't listen to social media, but the way it is and all the rest of it is just turn it off. But it becomes and engulfs you, and look, you need them to be as strong as what you try and be, because when I see the managers and see them when they are, not easy today. You know, it's not easy whether you're managing in even Division 2 where in the Championship or whatever it is. It's a hard gig now.
Also, fans now are very performative, if you know what I mean. We all know there's one bloke that started it, but there's loads of them. So after a team loses, you'll get a series of videos of people losing their minds and going absolutely mad, swearing, and it becomes a performance, really, and it's not particularly helpful.
No, it's not, and that's why I've mentioned Arsenal before. 2-3 years ago with Arteta, they might have thought, hang on a minute, it's not going as well as what we thought. We made these big decisions, nothing's quite happening, and they've stuck with it though.
Yeah.
They've had a purpose, they're going to do it their way, they're going to stay with it, and I don't see that very often these days. I see change too often.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do after 6 games or 8 games? I mean, obviously, clubs are bringing you in. Can you make an impact? Can you go and win your first 4, 5, 6 games? Yeah. And that gets you off to a decent start.
This new manager bounce.
Yeah, the new manager bounce.
Now, can I ask you one question? How the heck did you manage to sign John McGinn when we didn't have any money? What did you say to him to convince him to come to the Villa?
Well, I knew that his grandfather too was the former chairman of Celtic, and it was all a given that he was gone to Celtic. And I heard though that his father was a keen golfer, so I got the pro at Belfry to line it up that we can go and get the dad down and his mum and him, to be fair, to say, come and have a game of golf at the Belfry, and look, we're in the championship at the time, but come and see what we've got to offer. How I was going to get the money, when I think of Aston Villa now, how we were going to get the money was like beyond me, because we didn't have £2 million, you know. And anyway, we're sitting. I just put it to John of where it's going and what we're trying to do, and his mum then said to him, "But I don't want him to leave home," and she was getting upset and all the rest of it, you know. And anyway, we managed to persuade him to come to us, and I have to say, of all of them I have ever had, any player, in his debut, and I think it was against Hull in the Championship, within 3 minutes, he smashed into a tackle and sprayed a pass 40, 50 yards and then smashed a shot, all within 5 minutes, and the whole crowd have went, wow, at last we've got a player, you know. We've got a real proper player.
You remember that, Rupert?
I remember that game, because I think wasn't Jack supposed to be going or something all sort. Yeah. And we went, and then McGinn, I think it was the time suddenly from McGinn arriving, sounding like you did. And when we had no money, I actually reckon that gave the team a pulse, and we've been since then.
It's been a great sign.
It was the best signing.
I mean, look, just afterwards, then was the new regime were coming in, and I get it then. That new regime wants their own man in, and I didn't last very long after signing McGinn. I have to tell you, we got who was the centre forward? Come on, we got on deadline day. Centre forward's got all the goals. What got you up?
Tammy Abrahams.
Tammy Abrahams. We got him, but I only worked with him for 6 weeks. So we sort of put the pieces together of a decent side, and as I said, the following year they get up under Dean, and then what they've gone on to achieve now. I mean, they've got somebody in charge at the minute who is, in my opinion, as good as you're ever going to get. Yeah. I mean, he's an outstanding manager. Absolutely.
How did you cope with the Chinese owner? Because that must have been a nightmare for you.
I mean, I think the NDA has gone now, Steve. I think it might be all right.
Yeah, he's sort of sucking up to me now.
Yeah, he is.
Oh well,
what
Steve, you've got
of course I'm going to. But Steve, you still left us with no defence.
I don't think anybody's heard sight and sound of him since the day we lost the playoff final. Yeah. And after the match, after the game, I have Keith Gwyness, the CEO, and Steve Round, who was my director of football, both come and said, Steve, I want to see you tomorrow, but things aren't good. Financially we're in an awful situation, and they both too lost their jobs. And we were then going on holiday, and I still didn't hear from the owner at all of the football club, and in fact I never heard from him since, really, from the day we lost that playoff final. It was myself and the secretary, it was me and her who ran the place, really, and we sold the car park. We sold the car park at the Villa end for some money, which helped pay towards the wages, and it was a really, really desperate
It's hard to
time.
believe when you look at where the club are now, isn't it?
By the way, when the new owners were coming in, it was like, wow, these are proper people who are going to do a really proper job, and I'm delighted for the club, because it needed that, and they've been truly magnificent.
This sounds like my life in a year's time. This does, Rupert.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah.
Getting in the Championship playoffs and hoping for the best. The way things are going at Tottenham. You got a final question? Is it going to be Steve? Can you? Yeah. What is the final question?
Well, I did the. What was the last one? Basically,
can we be friends?
Please forgive me.
I've got to ask Janet.
Well, please forgive me, but enjoy the lettuce.
I will enjoy the lettuce, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the lettuce.
And he's done you a favour. He hasn't given you any tips for the Cheltenham this
Yeah, Rupert is the world's worst tipster, Steve. He's absolutely disastrous. So don't listen to him. Definitely not. Thank you, Rupert. We're going to catch up with you tomorrow, aren't we?
We will be primed and ready to go for 5 races. Can't wait for the champion hurdle at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Should be a cracker. And we kick off at 1:20.
Yeah.
Are you coming, Steve?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to make my way home, and I don't think so. Although towards the end of the week, I might be just tempted.
Yeah, and he's on with a few tips today from you and Lizzie and a few other people and Andy. So you might watch a bit on the telly, Steve.
I'll definitely watch it on the TV. That's for sure.
So we'll just wrap up with Steve very shortly. Talk about his future. He said that could be it for him in management, but Gary Rowett said that to us the other week, and there he is back in a job. So
could be at Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. Well,
I don't think you were going to accept me either. That you Tottenham.
Couple of hours time, Steve. Now. We're here with our good friends at Paddy Power, and Paddy Power has 2 great offers for Cheltenham week. Tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, get a completely free bet on any race at Cheltenham. This is an online exclusive. Opt-in required. Maximum 1 free bet, £1 to £50 per customer. Returns exclude your stake. And the second offer, is every day of Cheltenham there's a 250 grand jackpot in Paddy Power's free-to-play Eliminator game. 1 entry per round. Select the winner of each race to win the jackpot, which is shared with multiple winners. Any void races will reduce the jackpot amount. So terms and conditions apply to both offers. Find out more at paddypower.com. 18+, begambleaware.org. We're, of course, here with our good friends at Tool Station. Get your toolbox essentials this spring with big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Tool Station.
Just like former players, on the TV pundits, radio pundits, they've been saying the same thing for weeks and months now.
Saying what?
That Arsenal is going to fail, Arsenal is winning ugly, Arsenal is a set pieces team.
Who are saying this? Who's saying they're going to fail?
Yeah, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Carragher, all of them, even some former Arsenal players. I just crossed the path, with Ray Parlour, just came out and say, "Are you confident to stay?" No, I'm not.
Well, I'm confident, but I don't want to overshoot it, if you know what I mean. I know Piers Morgan said they're going to win it in March and this, that, whatever. I don't want to be saying things like that because I know how hard it is, and you could get a bad spell. But they're in a great position, and sometimes you can be overconfident, can't you?
Ray, what about the Brighton game? Brighton fans were going crazy about the time wasting. Did you see that or not?
Look, you do try and slow if you can. Al, I mean, we used to try and do it. If we're leading and whatever, you got to try and see games out. And the good thing about that game was that they wasn't very good. They was poor as a team, but they won the game, and that's what it comes down to. You don't analyse every single game when you finish the season with the trophy in your hands and say, "Well, remember the Brighton game? We didn't play that well, did we? We got lucky there." You just embrace the moment and say, "Look, we're champions of England," and that's the most important thing. So you can try any sort of tactics if you're going to slow it down, but I think it's a little bit unfair that they're saying about the set plays and this sort of set plays is part of the game.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs live from the Lansdowne pub in Cheltenham. Tomorrow we'll be at the race course to bring you 4 days of the Cheltenham Festival, live commentaries, top guests. We're wrapping things up at the Lansdowne today. Steve Bruce is with us throughout the afternoon. And as I was saying, Gary Rout was in the studio with us only a few weeks ago. And I was saying, you're looking to get back in, Gary? He said, well, look, you never say never. I think he was quite enjoying a little bit of family time. But it's like The Godfather, really. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in again, Steve. That happened to you at Blackpool? Because last time we saw you, you said, I don't know, it's unlikely. And then you get the Blackpool job.
And I met the Blackpool owner, and really, really nice guy. And it didn't work out for whatever reason, and this, that and the other. But I certainly don't regret it. But I think this time, really, I would think so.
Did you get burnt a bit? Has it changed the job, you think, over the years?
Has it changed? Look, as I've said at the top of the interview, I think when I've come on here, I've been in football all my life. It's all I've really, really understood and enjoyed. Certainly it is a more difficult job now because of time. If you're a head coach now, you always thought, can you have a couple of years and build a team and put a team together and blah, blah, blah. Now you get 6-8 weeks, and if your face doesn't fit and you don't get the right results, then, it's not. So it's a really, really difficult one, but I don't think I'll go back into your question, but as I said, you never ever know.
Neil Warnock's just gone back in the talking.
Neil and Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
And they've give all the older ones like us, it's good to see somebody like Martin. How wonderful has he done? And his enthusiasm's still there. And what's Martin now, 74?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Do you miss it now then? Do you miss it?
I miss the everyday routine of what we're going to do today, who's injured, who's not, training, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, it's all gearing to a Saturday. And don't get me wrong, if you win on a Saturday and you're the coach and the head coach or whatever you are, you enjoy that more than playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous how it engulfs you. But as I said, I've done it over 1,000 times and this, that and the other, and thoroughly enjoyed most of it. When I look back on it, there's times when it's been really difficult when you're under the pump and how you deal with yourself and how you look after yourself and blah, blah, blah. But on the whole, I've really enjoyed because I've been part of football.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And you enjoy the media side?
I really enjoyed talking, and thank them very much. They've let me come and do a show like here, and what I really enjoy is a Saturday afternoon. I was at Wrexham on doing the core comms, and how talented are them guys as well, by the way, the commentators.
Oh, yeah, they're
good.
good.
They're very, very good.
And this keeps you in touch as well,
and I just enjoy being... just being out and
even Rupert's good, to be honest.
Yeah,
Rupert's good.
He's a very good commentator.
Unless he starts criticising me. But I remember the dinner, when my wife tore into him a little bit. Wow, it was fantastic to watch.
She stood your corner a few times.
Oh, she stood. Yeah, she's had to.
Yeah.
We've been in some dark moments, and she's come out swinging. Why not?
Fantastic.
No, why not? Absolutely.
Well, it has been fun having you here this afternoon, Steve.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, lads. Thank you ever so much for inviting me.
And let's hope one or two of those tips that we've been getting from everybody come off today. We got a game tonight, haven't we? Is it West Ham Brentford this evening?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting. That's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah,
West Ham Brentford. Yeah.
I mean, West Ham with Tottenham. They must love Tottenham. Have absolutely turned their season around. They've turned Somerville into Lionel Messi. It's great. They beat us. They've never looked back, and now they're probably going to send us
I know.
down.
It was a few weeks ago where you feared for West Ham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All of a sudden now.
Some good business in January helps, I think.
Yeah, that helps. Of course, make big decisions and brought up two players in at the top end of the pitch who looks as if they've Somerville's got fit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they look as if they've turned a corner a little bit. And
momentum.
Brentford have been sensational this year, though.
Yeah, and fair play to the manager. What a really great story that is. I mean, he was the set-piece coach, wasn't he? And the hierarchy must have seen something.
It's a very well-run club, though. The whole
great
support.
I think Thomas Frank was probably quite shocked when he went into Tottenham and didn't have that support structure, that framework to work in.
Do you know all the good clubs around have got that?
Yeah,
what you're talking
of course
about.
they have. Yeah.
And for me, owners of football clubs really should, they should. I remember going back to Chelsea with Abramovich with Chelsea, and to be fair, he goes and gets Man United CEO. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest. That's what he did, and you have to say to him, you have people in place
Yeah.
who can help run your club and make them decisions on football, because it's different than anything else.
Steve, thanks ever so much.
Steve,
thank you ever so much for joining us. We enjoyed it. Steve Bruce with us throughout the afternoon. Thanks to Lee Mears as well, the former England hooker. And thank you for listening. Rupert and Lizzie will be with us once again tomorrow, live from Cheltenham Racecourse. We've got all the racing for you throughout the show, and lots of top guests as well. So do hope you can join us from 1. Join the live football tonight, West Ham, Brentford. But building up to that, of course, on Drive, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. We'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Simon, there was controversy last